and two-time national champion Christian Miller.
Once again with Christian Miller taking them down.
Here's college football playoff national champion Christian Miller on Tide 100.9 and 12:30 a.m. WTBC.
And welcome into this Monday edition of the Miller's Edge. Tide 100.9, 12:30 WTBC. Hope you guys are doing well, man. Chase, I almost had another one of those voice crack moments, man. That pollen is stacking up, and I'm trying my best, Chase. I'm trying my best. Anybody take like Zyrtec or anything? I feel like my dad's always been one. Do you ever take that, Chase? Does that help you out, or do you ever have issues with allergies like that?
I used to, like in middle school, high school, but then my dad was like, "Just take vitamin C and you'll be fine."
I take plenty of that, but listen. So I'm glad I'm not the only. So I take vitamin C every day. I drink shakes that have like blueberries and strawberries and stuff. I'm sure there's some vitamin C in there. I know antioxidants and all that, but oh my goodness, man! Like I've never had too big of an issue with allergies, but I feel like this year, man. I don't know what the deal. It just something feels different, man. I don't know if the pollens is thicker. I've been seeing a whole army of bees around my house. Maybe that's part of the problem. I don't know, but it's definitely been an issue. But don't worry, guys. We're good to go, man. I got my throat cleaned up. I had to smash the mute button like real quick after I said the Miller's Edge. All right, we're good to go, man. Felt like I was like revving up a car engine. Anyway, that said, man, really looking forward to the show today because we got plenty to dive into. I know Friday. We talked a little bit about Alabama's first scrimmage because it took place on Friday. It took place literally right before the show. Me and Reed were sitting here waiting on Kalen DeBoer's press conference, hidden refresh, and it took about an hour into the show till we got it. And then one thing led to another. We didn't really get to talk about it until we only had about, 15 minutes or so left. Now, we did recap some, but we did finally get to Kalen DeBoer's interview at the end, but we hardly even got to discuss that. Plus, I've been able to talk to some folks that were definitely there, and they shed some of their thoughts and insight from what took place, scrimmage number one. So I know you guys have plenty of thoughts, questions, comments, and concerns. So I'm excited to jump back into that. What we learned from scrimmage number one here in Tuscaloosa with this Alabama football team. We'll definitely talk at length about that. But before we get to that, we will hear a little bit from Coach Nate Oates. We also had March Madness this weekend. We got to discuss that, Chase. The Michigan game came up. Unfortunately, my dad's prophecy did not come to fruition. Now, he was I guess, what do you want to be prophesizing, or he was predicting in his world. He probably would prefer prophesizing that Alabama would defeat Michigan and move on to the Elite Eight. However, it didn't happen. Now, I will say first half, Chase, I want to say we went into halftime up a couple of points. I think we were up like 2 points going into half, and then second half, a little bit different of a ball game. And you just hearing Coach Oates speak at his press conference after the game, it sounds like he finally is I'm not gonna say finally admitting, but something that I know we've talked a little bit about it, and I feel like everybody's kind of mentioned it. The lack of size, right, with this team, the lack of presence down low. It sounds like he finally kind of addressed that, and that might be a point of emphasis this offseason, which this is nothing new, right? I mean, remember we brought in Big Cliff from, was it Rutgers? And I think people were excited thinking that maybe he could be that answer that we desperately needed. I don't think it really worked out that way, but it sounds like that's definitely going to be a point of emphasis for this basketball team. But nonetheless, I mean, another Sweet 16 appearance. I mean, this basketball team, they did a lot of really good stuff. They had some inconsistencies throughout the year. They dealt with some injuries, dealt with the whole Law and Order court case going on. Well, I guess technically two of them. The Bediako thing, and then you lose your second leading scorer right before the tournament. So that's no good. But for him to lead that team to a Sweet 16, I know some people are definitely going to be critical, right? And I understand, a lot of people had high aspirations for this basketball team. But I think the good news is, man, it feels like you're kind of right there. The consistency is there, which is good. It sounds like we just need a piece or two, couple little adjustments, and I think we could be in really good shape. Matter of fact, I was texting back and forth with Retno Basahan, who joined us last week. I think I'm going to get him back on the show, man. We might just need to get Retno on here like once a week as our basketball expert. I mean, the dude has such a high basketball IQ. But we were texting back and forth, and we were discussing some of that. And I was asking him, like, I mean, what do you think? Do you think it's more of a system that needs an adjustment? Do you think it's as simple as just adding a piece or two? And from Retton's eyes, it's not so much the system. It's more so just having the pieces that allow you to have that complement to your shooting, because we all know some people call it live and die by the three. Others just acknowledge that, hey, we shoot the ball a whole hell of a lot more than most other teams, and when we're on, I mean, we're arguably one of the hottest teams in the country. There's no doubt about it. But defense can be a little spotty. We have issues crashing the boards. That's always a problem. And I think that's where that big man could really come in. But yeah, Redden believes that it's somewhat of a small adjustment with bringing in some more personnel, right? Just to complement what you're doing. It's not like you need to change your whole philosophy. I know some people kind of feel that way, but according to Redden, who I definitely I trust his advice, he said no. It's definitely kind of about curbing the system as much as being able to be effective in complementary ways, more so patching up than completely adjusting, which makes perfect sense. So we'll hopefully get Redden back on here, discuss some more basketball. We'll hear a little bit from head coach Nate Oates in his presser before we really dive into this scrimmage talk, because I know that there's plenty to really dive into. Again, we only had like 15 minutes or so on Friday to discuss it. So I've got plenty of updates for you. Overall thoughts, insight from the scrimmage. I know everybody's dying to know about all these different groups and players and what looked like. What did this look like? Who did this? Who did that? We had even some clips roll out on social media, which is crazy to think about. I mean, that's like one of the biggest no-nos, but oh man, that's still crazy to me, man. I'm just trying to figure out, Chase, because I'm like, if you watch the clips, I mean, the dude had like 6 highlights of Ryan Williams. It's not like those plays came back to back to back to back to back to back. So clearly, I mean, the dude was just sitting there with his phone like the whole time like this. I mean, he had to be just sitting there. I'm like, man, I'm surprised nobody said anything at the moment, but clearly somebody finally acknowledged it, because the clips have now been taken off the internet. Nowadays you post something, it's pretty much there. So even though he deleted the clips, I think you still can find them, other people retweeting them and reposting them and screen recorded, all that good stuff. So there was that. We saw Ryan Williams go off. We also saw the highlights that Alabama officially posted themselves. And I'm sure if you really, freeze frame some stuff, you could probably see some things in those clips, maybe where some guys are playing. But I think after scrimmage one and kind of talking with, several folks, man, I think it kind of makes a little bit more sense on kind of how things are starting to kind of fill out, who's playing where, what they're kind of looking at trying to do, at least right now, which again, is very early on. So I always urge people, man. I mean, remember, this is just scrimmage number one, very first scrimmage for this football team going into 2026. And we're all the way in the spring. A lot of things can change, not just from just next week or this upcoming scrimmage to A-Day, all the way to fall training camp. I mean, things can look one way now and look totally different, then. So I always urge people, man, just, take it with a grain of salt somewhat, be cautiously optimistic, or if something doesn't look good, it's not like the sky is falling, right? It goes both ways. And that's why we just address it for what it is. And we just answer anything you guys got, and we'll talk about it and discuss it, all that right here on the show. Real quick, we've had a lot of action going on this weekend, not just with football and basketball, but also baseball. Chase, I don't know how much you caught of the baseball series, but another sweep, man. I need to just bring a broom in here and start sweeping the floor when we sweep these teams like this, man. That's back to back for Alabama baseball, man. Really impressive stuff. Now, maybe they were listening to the show, and I kind of said straight up, I'm like, man, what is going on with Alabama baseball, man? They weren't looking the part, and get into SEC play and everything. Maybe they were holding it in for SEC play. I don't know, but I'll tell you one thing: I enjoy baseball. But I enjoy it even more when there's like some juice to it. And this is like the Iron Bowl of baseball. There's some juice to this one, Chase. I mean, there's a video circulating, and luckily you can't hear what the guy is saying. But if you know how to just read lips, which I think most of us can do, there's some words being exchanged on that mound. I want to say it was like the next pitch or something like that big shot, like a walk. I mean, it's like, to me, that's exciting stuff. So for the people that say, oh, well, baseball is boring, when you get stuff like that, that makes it worth it, which I'm one of the people, like, I take baseball for what it is. I don't go and watch baseball or even watch it on TV to sit there and be like, oh, my goodness, man, like you're watching football or maybe even basketball. Baseball to me is kind of like that kickback, kind of like, the old guys that turn on the golf channel. It's like the background. It's relaxing. You're just chilling. Some things might pop up, like a guy makes a long birdie putt in golf, or in baseball, you got a nice home run every now and then. I mean, I guess if you're really into it, you might really pay attention to each and every pitch and be like, man, that was a sick pitch. Regardless, though, series like the one we had with Auburn, man, that's exciting. So shout out to Alabama baseball and what they were able to do in the, I guess, the early Iron Bowl of baseball. And I want to say softball, they competed this weekend. I think it was against like North Dakota. It wasn't an SEC series. Chase, I'll be honest, I don't have the updates on that Do you by chance did we walk away with 2 dubs? I think we only played 2 games this weekend. You got that for me, or do I need to pull that up?
2 dubs indeed. It was definitely a lot of fun to watch. I wasn't able to cover it in person, but Alabama's hot. They
Oh,
are
yeah.
definitely a team to be looking forward to. And it's not like you've seen them hot before and they kind of slow down once it gets towards the end of the season and then postseason play comes around. What Coach Murphy, excuse me, is doing, Christian,
No,
it's awesome.
y'all are homeboys now. You can call him Patrick. I see you and Coach Murphy are cool, man. I see you doing your clips over there. No, I'm just kidding. No, y'all are cool. He's a great guy. I don't think he'd mind Patrick. No, you're good. But no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You're good. So yeah, it's great, Christian. I think it's gonna continue to go as SEC competition gets bigger because the SEC, no matter what sport it is, it's hard to win. So for
Yeah.
Alabama softball to do this, both pitching, hitting, and fielding, that's all you can ask for Alabama right now. And the women are doing spectacular, and I'm excited for where this goes. Hopefully, it can host a regional. That would be pretty cool because I've always wanted to go to one. But
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
Christian, you hit on the button. They gotta be listening to the Mills Edge more and more because it seems like teams are starting to click and click. So keep it going.
Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Probably not, but we'll just tell ourselves that and make ourselves feel better. But you're right about the softball team, man. I mean, I feel like the last couple of years, I mean, Montana Fouts, I mean, the pitching was phenomenal, but the hits just weren't really there. And I just feel like we've been kind of waiting for that to really, that part of their game to come to life. And I feel like this year, man, it's just been much improved. And they've been playing some really good ball. So shout out to our softball team as well. We had to get Coach Murphy on the show here sometime soon to talk about all the good stuff that they're doing. But without further ado, let's go ahead and do this. Let's hit our first time out of the show. When we come back, let's listen to a little bit of Coach Oates, right? I hate saying it's not get it out the way, but we got plenty of time to talk about football. So I want to spend a couple minutes here in Coach Oates discuss the loss to Michigan in the Sweet 16, and then we'll kind of put a bow on that whole thing, and then we're going to open up this football conversation because we got to discuss this scrimmage from Friday, right? In depth. Again, we'll talk about all the intel, all the latest news and updates after speaking to some folks, kind of what was done, who might have some stock rising following scrimmage number 1, and so much more. So if you guys are watching this playback, right, on YouTube or wherever it may be, probably skip ahead probably 20, 30 minutes from now if you want to jump straight to the football conversation because we got to talk a little bit of basketball here on the Miller's Edge. Tide 100.9 because, of course, we are first and foremost a radio show, 1230 WTBC. But first we'll hit this timeout. We come back. We'll keep on rolling. And don't go anywhere because we're just getting started.
The Tuscaloosa Thread.
What's up, guys? All right, let's see who we got in the chat. Sorry, I had to jump straight in the intro. Arthur, what's up? Noop, what's up? Bama Standard, what's up? Oh yeah, Justin, I got that email. How do you hold on? I'm about to play it for the chat, man. How do you guys do this stuff, man? Hold on. So shout out to the Bama Standard. I don't know if you guys were in the chat last week, but they're talking about making an intro. Well, they work quick, man, because they already sent like several samples now. I should forward it to my phone so it sounds even better. But since I'm on the fly right now, I'm going to pull it up on my phone and let you guys hear this, or let you hear a few. They sent like several of them, man. Who is that? Trey, TR3, what's up? Mike, what's going on? Easter week, yes, sir. Jackson, what's up, man? Only March, ready for Bama football. You better slow it down, brother. You got A-Day coming up, and that's going to be wrapped for several months. Ken, what's up? Jake, what's going on? Kenji, what's going on? Alabama VOC FB, what's up, guys? We got Carlos. We got a bunch of you guys hanging out here early, man. I love it, man. Plus, the other reason I like kind of wait until we get into the whole football stuff is because I want to let you guys really start filling in because I know it normally takes like 30 minutes for us to really start to get everybody in here. That's right, Arthur. If you guys haven't, man, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel. Guys, we're going quick, man. The goal was to hit, I said I wanted to hit like 5,000 subscribers on YouTube before, I forgot what the date or the deadline I was aiming for, but guys, we're already pushing like almost 4,200. So if you guys on X aren't subscribed to our YouTube channel, man, make sure you go over there and subscribe. We're definitely going to be starting to post more. Now we stream live on YouTube, of course, and also X and also Facebook on Tide 100.9. But we will be posting extra videos. And I was talking, I know I've been saying this for a while, but I promise we're probably going to eventually get this going soon. Definitely by the season. But whether it's Slade, I know he's interested in doing some stuff, but I also was talking with Josh McMillan, just maybe coming up with like a once a week type evening podcast deal that we do, which during the season it will be all about breaking games down and previewing games, and hopefully really like pulling up some tape, right? Just finding a way to be able to do that on YouTube and whatnot. I don't know if it's a problem on X or I think X or Facebook. I don't think it really matters if you use tape, but anyway, so that's all in the works, man. So just make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel so you stay up to date. Let me hurry up because I think we're about to come back. Damn, man, we only got 30 seconds. Where's this email? Hold on, Justin. Oh, here it is. Listen to this, guys. This is one of them, right? I don't know how these guys pull this stuff off, but listen to this.
It's the Miller's Edge. And we back in this. Turn me up.
Oops.
Kicking the door, yeah, we bringing that pressure. Talking that truth, ain't nobody do better. Step in the booth, yeah, the energy rise. Play with the fact, we exposing the lies. Christian locked in, yeah, you know what it is. Championship player, we handle our biz. SEC ring, yeah, they shine when he talk. Everywhere heavy, we step on the walk. Ain't no cap, we snap. Straight facts.
I don't know how these guys do this stuff this quick.
We the voice, what's happening? We don't play, we don't fold, we don't switch up. The Miller's Edge, better tune in and get up. 5 days straight, yeah, we running the scene. Real talk on it. Yeah, we keep it all clean. Yeah.
It goes on. I think it even shouts out the pastor painted there, but hold on, we're about to come back. Anyway, there's two more too. I want you guys to listen to those when I play them, and then let me know which one you guys like. I don't think they'll mind if we use it. Clearly, they they sent it to us to use, so I'll play the rest of them. But I want you guys to let me know which one you guys think we should maybe start using. All right, hold on, we're about to come back here. And welcome into this Monday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Shout out to Dwight, by the way. Well, I guess, Chase, we just basically call him our investigator. Or he's basically going to get any link or anything that comes up. He's already tagging us and stuff, man. I appreciate that because it helps me out. I mean, I'm clearly doing a million things. Chase is behind the glass doing the radio stuff. I handle the stream, so it's a little tough sometimes. So shout out to Dwight and all our listeners that help out like this. Looks like Keon Sabb spoke to the media today, so we will be able to listen to him. I think it's his first time speaking this spring, so I'm curious to get his thoughts on a number of things. Just a quick little 5-minute clip, which is good. We'll be able to squeeze that in, so we'll get to that at some point. But shout out to our guy, the White Man. He's always looking out when it comes to finding the latest videos and everything that we need to get rolling. In terms of other things, we got to get Coach Oates playing real quick. So we can talk a little basketball real quick, and then we'll get into football here in a minute. But again, Michigan ultimately defeated Alabama in that Sweet 16 game over the weekend. Chase, real quick, while I get this clip pulled up, you want to give us your assessment kind of over that matchup we talked about going into halftime, very competitive game. Alabama, in fact, up against Michigan. But the second half, man, and to be fair, I mean, this Michigan, I almost said football. This Michigan team is a good team, right? I mean, they're a top seed for a reason. Got a number of really good players, and just that second half, man, it's just we couldn't find a way to continue what we had done in that first half. But tell me what your thoughts were watching that matchup.
As I expected it would go, Christian. If you're a Bama fan, I don't think you should hold your head down. I think you should hold your head high for keeping the score that it was. It was 90-77, and kind of looking at the players individually. I think for Michigan, Axel Lindenberg, man, he is the real deal. I think what you saw just on offense and defense, he's a high motor guy. Kind of that NBA built type of player. I think he'll do well in the league. And, Michigan, they're really sound defensively. They made Alabama work. They made adjustments in the second half. Hence why it just seemed like Alabama was just trying to keep the pace, but Michigan just kind of slowed it down a little bit. I fear LeBaron Fryland might not be coming back. He might declare for the draft. So, if you were able to watch him one last time, he put his heart out there, 35 points, 10 of 21 from the field, 6 of 14 from 3 in 39 minutes. And you had said it earlier, Christian, if we're able to find a 4 or 5 that can really play that position well, I think Alabama finds that last piece that could take them from not just reaching the Sweet 16 every year, but contending to a national championship. Because if you look at UConn, Duke, Illinois, in Michigan, they all have big men that can run the floor and really can score. And it's just the game where we are now, where you got to be able to play all positions 1 through 5. You can't have somebody that's just kind of running cardio on the court, because it's just it's an extra defender. And then for a team that's so high pace and shooting threes and run and go offense, you need somebody that can also run with them. And you saw that with Michigan. But yeah, I was proud of Nate Oates. Covered the press conference, and I don't think he's going anywhere, and he has something building here in Alabama. So just everybody should be pleased with what they saw, especially like you said, all the shenanigans that happened this season, from the injuries and the investigations, and then who's playing, who's not playing. So for a team like that to go up and down throughout the season and then reach the Sweet 16, bravo, Coach Oates and Alabama.
Absolutely. No, and I'm glad you mentioned that. Greg Byrne actually had a post that basically pretty much signaled that Nate Oates, in fact, will be staying put at Alabama, which I know there are some concerns about that. I'll throw this on the screen real quick. He shared this tweet over the weekend, a picture of him with Coach Oates, and he says, "We are good. He's not going anywhere." And then he posts the link to Yay Alabama, which I think in this instance, the link to Yay Alabama is saying, hey, support our NIL. That way we can help get some guys. We're talking about these bigs, and everybody wants these big time players. And I know everybody focuses on football here, but to be fair, you got to show some love to basketball. And this is another reason I do respect what Coach Oates is doing here, and his love of really just being here, right? I mean, listen, this to me, I know him pretty. I always say I'm not going to act like I'm best friends with him, but I know him pretty well outside of just him coaching basketball, right? I mean, I've spent time with him outside of that, but what you see is what you get. He's a straight shooter, and when he says he really enjoys being in Tuscaloosa, like he genuinely does, right? I know he even was joking about, I mean, hey, I'm just a former teacher that for years was making maybe $500 just to do this, and now I just got a raise. Like he's. When I say content, it's not like he's complacent, but you get what I'm saying, Chase? When these other jobs open up, I know Kentucky pursued him. You talk about the UNC job opening up. I think the biggest thing is, hell, we might just need a few more resources allocated over to basketball, which is easier said than done when you have a football team that everybody knows the expectations and the standards are up here. So, and we talked about this with the whole NIL deal. When they announced the revenue sharing, it's easier said than done, right? You got Alabama football. A lot of those resources we know are going to go to football. But you can't forget about this basketball team that Nate Oates in this program, that he's been able to turn around and turn into a very competitive team, a very respectable team. They recruit really well. I mean, look at the number of guys that he's had go on to the NBA, not just the top draft picks, but even the guys that are just playing some good ball. Chris Youngblood, that sound familiar? Remember the guy that transferred in here? The older guy, he definitely tear it up from three, but Chase, he's killing it in the G League, right? I mean, there's a number of players that have played here at Alabama in the past several years that are, doing some really good stuff on the next level. And I attribute a lot of that to Coach Oates and the job he's done with this program. And he's also had to deal with his assistants leaving, right? He's lost some assistants. I mean, like he's just continued, each and every year to continue to do some really good stuff. But that said, I do believe that they're not far off. I mean, the consistency I love, the fact that, we were joking about when I was in school, just being happy to be in the NIT tournament and maybe win the first round, to now you make it to the Sweet 16 and it's almost like people are just like, that's pretty good. I'm not saying everybody's like that, but you get what I'm saying? It's like that's how the expectation has changed. That's how the bar has been raised. And that's a big has a big reason to do with everything that he's done here in Tuscaloosa. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I'm glad you brought that up. In terms of another guy who could potentially be departing Tuscaloosa, well, I don't even think it's a potential. I think we all know, LeBaron Philon, he's out of here. And if that was his last game against Michigan, he went out on a great note, man. He dropped 35. It was around like his career high, I believe, 10 of 21. And you just saw him, man. I mean, he's a fighter, man. And I remember Coach Oates bringing it up. Like he said, the game before, hey, we're not going home. I mean, he's one of these guys that even though he's a star player, he plays with a lot of passion. The guy clearly loves his university. And I'm sure if things were different, he would maybe consider coming back, Chase. But when you have a when you have talent like that, and when you're going to be a potential lottery pick in the NBA, I feel like it's just a little bit different than football. I feel like you just got to go. And, I think he's going to do some really good stuff in the NBA. I hate that he's going to be probably making that next move. And granted, he hasn't announced it. I think we all just are assuming this, but definitely going to be tough to see him go. But if I do know one thing, Nate Oates has a way of finding some good backcourt players, right? So, I mean, I'm pretty optimistic on, some guys filling in for a guy like that. But definitely a tough one. But you're right, Chase. I mean, they're a really good team. You see the size that they have, the way they play defensively. You said it, man. It just when we get matched up against teams like that, and it kind of throws a wrench in the style of play that we have, and we don't really have the mid range like that. We don't really have guys down low. I mean, it's just it kind of just, I don't know, man. It's like our kryptonite. So that was unfortunate, but nonetheless, another good year for Nate Oates in this basketball team. That being said, we're going to hit a timeout. And we come back, we're going to start talking some football. It's time. We're going to dive into number one game Friday. We also got some player interviews from today we'll dive into later. But we got to recap this scrimmage, Chase. We got to talk about the latest, what we learned from it. I know there's been some clips circulating. I know Alabama posted highlights, but we got to dive in and talk about it. So if you guys got questions, go ahead and drop them, man. Go ahead and drop them in the chat, or you can always download that Tide 100.9 app. It's completely free. Any smart device, whether it's your phone, iPad, you name it, Google Play Store, Apple App Store, just download that Tide 100.9 app. You can listen to all the shows there, but also drop your app messages where we can read those live on air, or you can leave those in any of the comment sections of the stream. We stream live on YouTube at The Miller's Edge, Facebook at Tide 100.9, and now on X at The Miller's Edge as well. So we'll read some of those questions. We'll discuss the latest from the scrimmage and more right here on The Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC.
Everybody loves Taco Casa. Everything we do in our store, we prepare in our store.
Smitty says, in basketball, bigs are the equivalent of offensive and defensive linemen. In the portal, you have to pay up. Yeah, you're right. You're right. But it sounds like, I mean, he's going to acknowledge that. I just totally forgot. I had the I had the press conference pulled up, man. We were supposed to listen to that, but well, clearly we got sidetracked for a second.
Gotta give Michigan a lot of credit. They it's a reason they're a 1 seed. They're big, strong, athletic, physical. I thought our guys did a great job to be up 2. Did a great job closing the first half, but the start of that second half wasn't what we're looking for, and it kind of Michigan imposed their will on us to start the second half. So give Coach May and their players a lot of credit, but I'll say this: these guys that I coach have been one of the more enjoyable groups I've ever coached in my life. We had no locker room issues, none of that stuff. Like talking about attitudes and all. Like, these guys did a great job controlling that. These 3 guys, along with other guys in our team, its leadership's been great all year. I love these guys. It's disappointing to win, it's disappointing to lose. But the most disappointing thing about tonight is I don't get to coach these guys anymore. So,
I respect Coach Oates, man. I like him a lot. He's a solid dude. I mean, off the court, he's definitely solid, but I like him as a coach too, man. Tough on his guys, but he definitely loves them, man. Kind of reminds me a little bit of how Coach Saban was. You know what I mean? Like, they kind of give similar vibes, but love everything he's doing over in basketball, man. Just got to hopefully get us some help down low. Some guys that can grab some rebounds. Just, have a presence in the paint. I think that'll be definitely big. Y'all don't have any questions, man? I feel like you guys always get all quiet on me, man. We always have all these people watching, but you guys don't drop any questions. Y'all just want to hear what I have to say about the scrimmage. That's fair enough. I mean, I'll do that anyway. I'm just shocked. Normally, you guys would be jumping at the bit to ask about stuff like this. Baseball and golf are great for putting me to sleep. Yeah, I mean, they definitely are kind of like good background sports. I agree. I definitely agree. Yeah, we do need to put a poll up. Oh, yeah, I should play the other ones. I should do it like once a break. Justin, thank you so much for doing that, by the way, man. Let me see. Hold on. Let me play a second one while I read these things. Nate either has to change the scheme up or find elite guard talent. Well, I feel like we have a lot of good guard talent, though. I mean, you wouldn't consider a guy like Phylon elite? Oh, you're saying not just one. My bad. I should have read the rest, but not just one, but multiple with height. His system isn't going to draw a true big to Bama. Well, I definitely feel like you got an uphill battle trying to recruit some of those bigs, right? Just like in football, if you have a scheme that's a very pass heavy scheme, it's going to be a little bit harder maybe to recruit some of these top running backs, which makes sense. So I agree with you on that. But I would say, I mean, I think guard wise, man, I feel like you've got plenty. Now you could maybe add. I feel like we could have used somebody like a Brandon Miller, which I know those are very hard to come by, but I think somebody like that guys that can drive, you know what I mean? Hell, even somebody maybe with the mid range. I just feel like I get what you're saying, and I agree to an extent. But I just think the biggest focus should be just down low right now. I think you can get away with what they're doing on the backcourt, personally. What was I about to pull up? I was supposed to pull up. I don't have time. I'll save that for the next timeout. Like a wing. Yeah, exactly. Plain Truth, what's up, man? Wait, what was I about to pull up, guys? I'm drawing a blank. It's all good. We're about to come back. And welcome back into this Monday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Let's talk some football, man. That's why everybody loves jumping on here. Now they like hearing me and Chase chop it up, and of course, sometimes the passer pain when he's cutting it loose. Definitely need to start. Maybe we need to send him back to media training, Chase. We might need to send him back to media training. I think his media training is a little outdated. It's great. It's great for content. But he worries me sometimes, Chase. He starts saying some things, and I'm like, brother, it is 2026, man. You got to be careful, man. You walking a fine line there. But now we love it, man. But anyway, now we're going to talk some football, and I'm really fired up to do it because, again, we got cut a little short on Friday with the press conference kind of rolling real late into the show. So let's go ahead and talk about let's start with some of the things that Coach DeBoer mentioned during his press conference, Chase. We'll start there. Then we got questions finally rolling into the chat. You guys don't be so scared, man. I feel you guys get scared to ask questions, man. You ain't got to call in. I'm not going to make you call in, but ask questions, man. I love being able to answer questions. That said, we'll start with a number of things that Coach DeBoer mentioned. He had mentioned, I want to start here, the whole Jackson Lloyd thing. Remember, Ryan Grubb came out and said that he was the left tackle. There's no competition. We made a big deal about it. Everybody made a big deal about it because it was like, man, whoa, what are you doing, guy? Whoa, it's a third day, brother. We just put on shells, man. Why are you doing that? No need to do that. Well, either Coach DeBoer kind of was on the same page as everybody else, or he just, maybe heard all the noise externally, was like, look, man, all right, let me kind of put a little patch on this. And he had come out and said, look, all our guys are competing on a day-to-day basis. Each and every day is another day of competition. Everything is fluid. And just kind of hearing that, and Reed pointed it out. I'm glad that he mentioned that, Chase, just because clearly, as long as he understands that, and that's actually what's happening, that's what matters. It really doesn't matter what people think externally, but just to know and have him confirm that, like, hey, yeah, no, we're not giving out jobs. We're not doing no. Everything is a competition. I just liked hearing that from him because it kind of righted what I kind of was like, I wouldn't call it a wrong, but just something that we didn't really need to do, the third day of spring practice. So I know he mentioned that. He mentioned the place kickers, right? Talking about the competition there. We learned last season probably should not overlook the special team so much, which I know several people were asking about it. We were like, yeah, we talked about it every now and then, but nice to know there's a good competition going on right there because that ended up being critical for Alabama, in a number of games. However, I do want to give a shout out to Talty because he definitely did. He finished the season the right way, right? There's no denying that. He definitely responded the right way, but we hit a little bit of a moment there, and kicking the special teams was a little bit of an issue, but sounds like they are definitely putting a lot of attention there. Coach DeBoer mentioned the quarterbacks, right? He said both the guys are playing well. He likes the aggressiveness out of both guys. He mentioned, some of the runs that were had in the scrimmage, some explosives there. complimented the guys up front. They got bigger, wanted to play a little bit more base. I'm going to dive into that and explain a little bit more in detail kind of what they're aiming for with that whole deal. But that was kind of some of the stuff that we heard from head coach Kalen DeBoer from his press conference. Now let's talk a little bit about some things that I've heard and just talking with some folks that were normally I try to get up there, but with the showtime and stuff like that, it kind of was running into a little bit of an issue, so I wasn't going to be able to make it. But this is what I would say, Chase, kind of what I've kind of gathered just from making my rounds. It sounded to me like offense definitely did some good things, right? And the clips came out and you saw Ryan Williams had a phenomenal day, 3 touchdowns. I love that for him. Now, I'm not going to sit there and go as far as saying like because he had a 3 touchdown day, automatically that means everything is back to how he looked freshman year, and you're safe to assume that he's, you know what I'm saying? I think that's just kind of jumping the gun. And the only reason I say it is, and I'm not saying it in a bad way, but I say that because last season I also went up to those scrimmages and he had, a number of performance. And now, granted, he missed some of the scrimmages last year, but I remember it was like one of them, or maybe it was even a practice where he was just kind of just doing his thing, going off. No indication that he would have a little bit of a sophomore slump. You get what I'm saying, Chase? So that's why I always say, like, be cautiously optimistic. But what I do love about it is that can do numbers for a guy's confidence. Even the fact that it kind of got out there a little bit. I mean, now the outside world, who just a few days ago was kind of talking about the one drop that he had at Pro Day, now it's kind of like, oh, damn, he's up here cooking guys. He's back to that Ryan Williams. Whether that's going to be the case this upcoming season or not, I think that does a lot for a guy's confidence. So that was really good to see. In terms of the quarterbacks, just kind of talking with some folks, I think what I kind of gathered was both guys did some really good stuff. I don't think either one of the guys are really truly separating themselves just yet. I think it's still a little early in that. I heard both guys performed well, but they also, kind of had some moments or some throws that weren't, you know what I mean? Like some learning lesson type moments, right? I know Alabama posted some highlights and an interception was thrown. I'm not exactly sure exactly who threw the interception, but again, all part of a scrimmage. But it sounds like everybody is definitely really optimistic about both the quarterbacks, just not quite there just yet, which makes total sense. It's scrimmage number 1. I don't think anybody necessarily anticipates that. In terms of the offensive line, because I know everybody's going to be asking about it and curious how that whole deal is looking. What I gathered was definitely some good, but still needs to work on being doing it consistently. I heard early on it kind of seemed like they were clicking, right, which kind of happens a lot. Offenses, man, whether it's scripted or things like that, they kind of always seem to jump out hot and then defense kind of catches back up. That's the vibe that I was getting from folks that I talked to. But they had mentioned in terms of the consistency with the running game, I know there's talk about like some explosives. Like I think they had some plays on the ground. But from a consistency standpoint, that needs to improve. I still so the folks that were kind of hearing the positivity coming out from the run game, I think there were some moments, some flashes, but the consistency, that still needs to be improved on. I did hear, however, that pass pro wise, they actually performed, pretty well. So from a pass pro perspective, the offensive line did a good job. I just heard that, the run game consistency needs to continue to improve. And speaking of the run game, with some of these running backs, AK Deer, I've heard he's definitely been impressing a lot this spring. He's been doing a lot of good things. I know EJ Crowell, a lot of people eager to see him, but he's still dealing with a soft tissue injury, so he's a little limited. But even with the limited, amount of work that he's getting, I think he's still finding a way to impress people, Chase, right? But it's spring. If you're dealing with a soft tissue injury, I mean, I get why they want to protect it. There's no need to further, that issue right now. Of course, the more reps now will be, very valuable to a young player like that. However, it's soft tissue stuff, man, that stuff can stay around and linger. And I don't think there's no need to force it. But in the meantime, you got other guys able to get some more reps, like AK Deer, who I feel like is making a nice jump from year 1 to year 2. A lot of people seem to be really pleased with what he's doing. But I'll throw this in here, Chase. I was also told that drawing a blank on his name, Daniel Hill. I'm sorry, I about called him Dylan's. Daniel Hill. I'm told Daniel Hill, man, he looked good in Friday's scrimmage. I heard that he's running hard, kind of running behind his pads a little bit more, which is very encouraging. You know, we talk about that. For a bigger guy, he doesn't typically always run behind his pads like that. I know we talked about the weight loss, during the offseason. And it sounds like, he's his confidence higher. I mean, maybe that weight loss has led to a little bit more explosiveness. And now he's starting to kind of really grow into that running back that we think he can be. So I think right now, those two guys at the running back position, of course, EJ Crowell, once he gets healthier, I'm sure that he'll start seeing, some more reps. But it sounds like AK and Hill right now are doing some really good stuff at the running back position. Flipping on to the other side of the football, I know defensive line is a big one for me, Chase. Like I really want to see those guys improve. I think it's going to be big. And we talked about Coach DeBoer mentioning getting bigger up front, being able to play more base. And from what it sounds like, there's been a number of guys that are taking advantage of some opportunities. London Simmons, who in my opinion, as a matter of fact, I went back and watched several more games, watched our defense specifically over the weekend. Really excited about him when he comes back. But with him being out, there's more opportunities. And there's been some guys stepping up. The names that I'm hearing right now, Chase, from some of the people that were at the scrimmage, they mentioned some interesting ones. And I'll explain why in a second. I think Terrence Green and Bingley Jones, the transfer from Mississippi State, I think those guys are kind of, for the nose position, I heard a lot of good stuff about Bingley Jones, right? I think they're working him a good bit at nose, and I think he had a good day on Friday. But a name that popped up was Big Steve Zimbabwe, and I'm probably pronouncing his last name wrong. And it's just funny because, last season I remember, when I would see him, I'm like, man, this guy is like a tank, man. I mean, the way he's built, he don't have a whole bunch of body fat playing defensive line. I know he was very raw. I don't think he even played a whole bunch of football. And then you hear him talk, he's got this kind of, I'm not going to call it a funny accent, but, he's French Canadian. He's an interesting cat, man. I just remember I always be asking about it. I'm like, man, like, you got to find a way to get this guy to put it together. But it was like, man, he's got a ways to go, man. And then I remember there's a number of times I'd see him, and I think conditioning was a little bit of a thing. I think, listen, when you come and you're suiting up for the University of Alabama, it's a big adjustment, especially if you haven't really been doing it for a long time. And so, he had a little bit of an uphill battle last year. But apparently, man, this spring, Chase, this guy has made strides, which if you look at the tools that he has to work with, it shouldn't shock you much, but just to know how far he's come in such a little amount of time, he's been impressing a lot of people. And he's getting runs with the ones, and he's doing a damn good job. So that's really encouraging, because we talked about the interior of the defensive line. Like, how is that going to come together? You lose a lot of guys. You lose, Tim Keenan. You lose James Smith, the transfer portal. And then you have a number of these guys coming in. You just don't know what to expect. But overall, a lot of those guys have been doing some good stuff. Now, I will say this. It's kind of hard to really tell at this point, because sometimes if your defensive line is looking really good, you're trying to figure out, is it because they are really good, or is it because our offensive line still is struggling and they're still trying to figure stuff out? So you got to take all that stuff into consideration. Like when we talked about the offensive line and their little bit of the inconsistency running the football, right? Does that mean the defensive line is doing a damn good job stopping the run? Is the offensive line still a little bit behind in terms of putting everything together? You'll get more answers as time goes on. Devin Tompkins, I was told, had another really good day. I think so far this spring, he's definitely been one of the guys they've been really excited about. Not just for what he's done on the field, but also just, I think, like the flexibility that he's giving them. I think they're kind of going into this year trying to, they talk about playing more base, but also trying to find guys that they can put in a number of different positions that can be effective. And I think with him, it's a little bit of a luxury for, a defensive line coach or a defensive coordinator to have a guy who's 298 but built the way he's built. He kind of really can play across the whole defensive line, which makes sense. That's what he was doing at Southern Cal. Now, watching his tape at Southern Cal, I definitely think he still can continue to work, stopping the run, stronger at the point of attack, really anchoring down and being physical up front. But for everybody that I've been talking to, they've said, he clearly definitely has some things that he's got some habits he's got to unlearn, right? Some things that he probably developed when he was there. But as he continues to put those things together, he's definitely expected to be a heavy contributor in a number of ways. And I'll talk about, I know we got to hit a timeout here, but I'll talk about some of those different variations and kind of how this defensive line can come together. But so far, a lot of people have been pretty impressed with what this defensive line has been putting together this spring. I think a lot of guys have been taking advantage of their reps. A lot of guys have been taking advantage of their opportunities, which is really encouraging, because we know as a defensive line, man, you're always looking to get fresh bodies in there. The more guys that can contribute, the better, right? Big defensive linemen, man, they get tired. They get a little bit run down. you're playing teams that might have some tempo, whatever the case may be. You got injuries come up. Depth up front is so critical. And that was one thing I was concerned about, but it sounds like, I mean, not only are the transfers stepping up, Chase, but some of these young guys who I was like, I don't really see them maybe taking that step this year, maybe next. Sounds like a lot of them are ahead of the curve, man. A lot of these young guys are continuing to do some good stuff. Last but not least, linebackers. I'm hearing Caleb Woodson. I think we've heard all the talk about him. I think he's kind of the guy that they're kind of building around at that position right now. I mean, he's a veteran, right? I mean, he started the last 2 seasons at Virginia Tech. I was kind of curious kind of how that would work because watching his tape, it was kind of similar deal. It's like, man, I see the tools, I see the athleticism, but there's times where the recognition's not there. The instincts are a little bit behind. And I think it makes sense. He didn't really, I think he came to college as a DB, then was converted to linebacker. So I didn't really know what to expect, but it sounds like him coming here has definitely been very good for him. And obviously it should be very good for us. And that can happen, right, Chase? I mean, when you're playing at a school like Virginia Tech, no disrespect to those guys, it can be a little bit different versus having the guys around you that you'll have at Alabama. And it sounds like maybe he's benefiting from that. You know, when you have a secondary as talented as we do, when you have guys up front that can actually, eat blocks, or guys that can be disruptive up front and help keep you clean, allow you to be that athlete, you don't always have to think as much. I think that can help a guy like that out. And I think he's been very impressive, just kind of flying around, making some plays. And to me, I think the linebacker group is kind of taking shape, kind of what I thought going into spring. I think him, probably see a good bit of QB Reese. I mean, if you just turn on the tape, I mean, that guy just kind of, he flashes a little bit more than the rest. But the other guys are still, competing. I mean, Luke Metz is getting a number of snaps. I mean, C.J. Jones or Caden Jones. I mean, everybody's getting a number of reps. But I think right now it's kind of looking like Caleb Woodson, QB Reese, Luke Metz, those guys kind of working in there. And you'll probably see a little bit of a rotation. If I had to guess, even this season, I'm sure you'll probably see a number of those guys playing. Maybe as the season progresses and guys really solidify themselves, maybe you'll kind of cut back some. But I think that's going to be a little bit of maybe a by-committee approach. Maybe you see certain guys, whether if you're playing nickel, you're playing base, things like that. I think that's something to be expected. And last but not least, secondary. We all know, I mean, those guys are really talented. I think they've been playing really well this spring. I know some of the comments after seeing the video that got posted, Ryan Williams kind of cooking the freshman. Listen, I love that the freshman's out there going against Ryan Williams. Now, hopefully it doesn't hurt his confidence too much, right? Because I think he was like a top recruit, like 5-star type guy. But it shouldn't, because he needs to understand don't go off of what people are saying online or what Ryan did last year. That dude is one of the toughest receivers to guard in the country. Best believe that. You know what I mean? And to be fair, those clips are going to make it look one way. It is what it is, man. But you got some young guys getting some burn in there too, Chase. And I think they're doing some good stuff, whether it's guys like we talked about. I mean, Ivan Taylor. We talked about Drake Kirkpatrick Jr. I mean, the depth, I think, behind these guys is going to be critical because we know what the starters can do. But what can these secondary guys, the depth piece in the secondary do? What can they do if their number is called? If you need them in on some packages, whether it's certain nickel packages or dime packages. I think that's what they're trying to figure out right now. So overall, I think there's a lot of good work done Friday. That's kind of what I've gathered and taken away from everybody I've spoken to. And hopefully I'll be able to get up there this Friday. Worst case, Chase, you might need to take over, man. You might need to take over for the first 30 minutes, man, so I can go put my eyes on it. But that's kind of what I've gathered. I might have missed a couple of things, but we are due for a timeout. When we come back, I'll answer some of y'all's questions because I know we got plenty of them in the chat, and we'll definitely keep rolling right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC. We're talking scrimmage number 1, Intel Nuggets, all that stuff, what we've learned, and we'll continue to do that. We'll answer your questions. Plus, if you guys want to get in on the conversation, 205 342-9904. I about gave the number to Lamprello Law Education Advocacy, man. It was on my mind. Shout out to those guys. I'll tell you more about it when we come back right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC.
Coming up on The Game with
all right. So I'm gonna get to y'all's questions, guys. I just wanted to get that out the way so I got to clip that part and upload that as a whole separate video here in a second. No questions. Move on to football. Jeremy, I'm telling you to ask questions about football, guy. Oh my goodness gracious, man. Sometimes y'all are a tough crowd sometimes, man. Y'all can be a tough crowd sometimes, man. We don't give a shit about anything else. Just talk about football. I'm telling you to ask questions about football, dude. That's what we're talking about, man. Let's see. Sorry, I'm seeing some basketball stuff. Do you think whoever wins A-Day should be the starting quarterback? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, sir. No. Listen, those guys got to keep competing. A-Day is going to be A-Day. I mean, I know they're going to a scrimmage format, but it's going to be limited. They're not going to, do everything that they would do on a real game-like setting. So yeah, no, you should never make a decision based off of a A-Day performance. But I think you can definitely use that and add it to their body of work, right? To assess guys, to evaluate guys. But yeah, I would not make a decision based off of one scrimmage, even if it's in the stadium with fans in there. That's no. Heard some good things out of the Woodson kid. Hopefully it translates as well in the fall. Yeah, like I said, man, I'm hearing a lot of good stuff too. And that's really important because we know how important the linebacker spot is. And I was kind of curious about how he would come along because if you watch his tape, I mean, there's flashes there. Really good athleticism. I mean, the guy definitely has like next level traits, but there just also were some moments where you're like, all right, he needed to be polished. And initially, I just was thinking, man, if you're trying to pair a guy like that from the portal up to the youth that we have, I mean, it's a little bit more of a polished backer, more of a traditional backer, I think would ease a little bit of concerns. But I mean, this is the route that they went, so I just was curious how it was going to play out. And it sounds like it's working out pretty well. But again, this is one scrimmage where, a couple weeks into practice during the spring, and this is just against each other. I mean, you can get an idea about your team, even from now to fall camp. But if you ask any coach, he'll be the first one to tell you. I mean, there's times they still don't really know what they really have got until it comes time to actually go strap up and play other teams. I mean, that's just the reality of the situation. But no, I mean, I think defense is coming along. Just way too early to really kind of get a gauge on like where we're truly at. But heard on Clint's Live this morning, coaching staff is leaning into more what the offense does well. I think that's how he put it. Yeah, and kind of what we had talked about regarding simplifying things, right? It all boils down to like football at the end of the day, it's about blocking, tackling. I mean, those are your basic fundamentals. I think sometimes coaches tend to get a little too cute. They try to get a little too complex. And I think it's okay to be like that, but you have to get to that point. If you skip over the basic foundation, it's going to be hard to be good at the basic things that you need. And I think that's kind of what it felt like at times. But yeah, I mean, I think they're trying to maybe scale it back. And that's like what I've been saying on the show in terms of this is a complicated offense. So I was telling you guys, I mean, if you ask any guy that has played in this offense, they will tell you, I mean, this is not traditionally, it is not a simple offense. It's very complex. There's a lot to it. That's why you saw a guy like Ty. I mean, he was asked to do so many different things. I think if you just take into the equation, you got a new starter at quarterback who's going to be younger. I know Ty was still a fourth-year guy, but both these quarterbacks are young guys. I think it just makes sense, man. Scale it back, even for your offensive line, the running game. I told you guys, we didn't have a true identity. Like that's why you're starting to hear other people say that. I've been saying that for months. Scale it back, get you a few different, run plays that you feel confident that your guys can do. That's your bread and butter. That like we call it your fastball. Design your fastball, and then you work off of those things. Then you can set things up. Then you can start getting more creative. But you got to have a foundation first, and I feel like we lacked that last year. And welcome back into this Monday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. We're breaking down scrimmage number 1 that Alabama had Friday, but remember, they already back to work, and they had some guys speak to the media. It looks like we have that video from Keon Sabb, which we'll hear in a little bit. We don't have enough time just yet. I know we got Tommy on the phone lines. I'd love to get to him here, but we only got 2 minutes. I don't know if he's still there. Hopefully he is. We can try to take his call when we come back. Chase, I'm trying to think if there's anything I missed on that. I know pretty much hit on just about every position possible and pretty much everybody that I wanted to mention. Was there anything that you had? We got a minute real quick, Chase. Is there a question or comment or concern? Anything that Coach DeBoer mentioned from the scrimmage or anything on your mind that you wanted to hit real quick?
Is there any concern that Ryan Grubb and Kalen DeBoer kind of had differences of opinions on kind of the offensive line a little bit, or it's just kind of like week by week basis, things can change type of stuff? Because I've heard people kind of nervous about Ryan Grubb and Kalen DeBoer not really be on the same page in that aspect because the offensive line was a big issue last year, especially with the running game being affected by it, and then like Ty Simpson and so many other factors that came into it. So I just wanted your thoughts on that.
That's a good question. In terms of any issues with that, there shouldn't be. Now, I definitely think there's probably, I wouldn't say like a discussion that needs to be had, but at the end of the day, listen, the head coach is the head coach. I just think what you're dealing with is I think Coach DeBoer has always been one. He delegates the responsibility of his coordinators to them to let them do as they please, right? Let them do what they do. And on one hand, I understand that. Like, I mean, it makes sense. But on another, at the end of the day, if you're the head coach, man, you call the shots. And sometimes you kind of got to put your foot down. I'm not saying there's necessarily a reason that he needs to do that here, but if there are any questions or you know what I mean, some back and forth with that offensive line, I mean, he ultimately gets the final say. However, I don't even think it's really a situation like that, Chase. I think it's more so I will look more about the dynamic between Adrian Clem and Ryan Grubb. Because to me, I feel like that was something that kind of came up last year, more so like between Grubb, and like who's making what decisions, stuff like that. Just knowing how Coach DeBoer rolls, man. Like I said, he really kind of delegates. And he's going to, chime in, but I think he gives a lot of authority to Ryan Grubb. And I just think what I would love to see, or at least know that is going on, is that Ryan Grubb is at least open. Like, you're allowing people to kind of throw their 2 cents, and whether that's Adrian Clem, who is the new offensive line coach. I just would hope that it's a little bit more of a by committee approach, because I just think it's all sometimes, I mean, one person sees things one way, but other people have other perspectives that could be very valuable. And I just think it's important that you're open ears to that. I'm not saying he wasn't per se, but sometimes it kind of felt like that. And hopefully that's something that is a little bit different with that staff. If that was, again, I'm not 100% sure. I'm just saying it felt like that. But if it was, hopefully that is a little bit different this upcoming year. We got to hit this top of the hour break. When we come back, we continue talking Alabama football. We'll dive into a little bit more of today's practice, because I want to say they practiced. Obviously, they spoke to the media, so I didn't even look at the schedule. I didn't realize they're practicing today. But we got some media to get to, and we'll hear from some of those guys as well in hour number 2, right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC. Justin, I appreciate you, man. Yeah, and I really like to. Wish I had the other ones played already for the chat. I like the first one for sure, but if you said you got 3 more, man, I'll definitely if you want to send them, I'll definitely listen to those too, man. I just appreciate you doing that. Daniel Hill spoke as well. Bet. DeBoer sounds like the grown-up in the room. Grew up to speak his mind. Well, I think Coach DeBoer is a little bit more he probably was a little bit more, I'm not going to say cautious, but clearly aware that what you say when you get out in front of those cameras, I mean, with the media in Tuscaloosa or Alabama, I should say, it's not New York media, but the way this team is covered. I mean, you do have to be mindful of what you say, how you say it. So I think Coach DeBoer's probably learned that. I mean, I remember if you go back to when he first got here, I don't know if he necessarily had that whole part figured out, but now I think he understands. I mean, anything you say will be plastered everywhere, especially if it's something that is going to grab headlines. So, yeah, we'll play that Daniel Hill as well. I'm excited to hear from him because people were impressed with him in the scrimmage. You know, just how many he seems to be kind of running behind his pads a little bit more, which is a really good thing. I mean, you got a big physical back like that. Sometimes it gets a little frustrating, man, and you're like, man, like if he could just understand what he's got to work with, man. And sounds like he's definitely taking strides. Let's see a video on Twitter that shows how bad the O-line play was last year. Simple late shift. Oh, you're talking about from what's his name? I'll pull that up. I would urge you to think like this though. I mean, be careful just judging everything off of one clip, right? I know what you're talking about. You're talking about Georgia. They do the late shifts. It's called stemming, right? Basically, go move, and everybody moves. I mean, we used to do that. Kirby got. I mean, we were doing that we were doing that at Alabama. I need to slow down when I talk, man. Who posted it though? Who was impressed with Hill? We're talking about the scrimmage. We're talking about the scrimmage. We're not talking about last year. We're talking about the scrimmage. Who was the guy that posted that video? I'm gonna pull it up. Let me just see if I can just find it by searching something. Oh God, I meant to type in Georgia shift and I forgot the F. I forgot the F. Wait, I think Landon might have quote tweeted it. Let me see. Oh, there you go. Was it Baldy that posted it? I thought that initially, but then I was like, I don't think that was. Let's see. Let's pull him up real quick. Yeah, it was Baldy. You're right. Hold on.
Why don't more teams do what Georgia does? Watch, they're in this odd front, and then they stem late.
Latoya,
right? Now Alabama's talking. All right, blocking schemes just change, and watch what happens. The center pulls right into the right guard. All right, because the communication isn't right. The late stem affected him, and here comes a free hitter at Ty Simpson, and he can't make it.
I'll be honest with you guys. I feel like a lot of people in college football do this, or at least a lot of coaches in the SEC. I mean, and maybe it's people that I know that I watch a lot because they came from Coach Saban's system. That's right, Latoya. We got 78 people watching, only 30 likes, man. What do I have to do to get you guys to hit that like button, man? What I got to do to get you guys to hit that like button? If you guys don't mind, let's hit it real quick. We appreciate it. That helps the channel out a lot, and it makes it better for you guys because the more people that are in here, the more chat messages we get, the more interactions we got. So it makes it better for the experience is better for you guys if you hit that like button. But in terms of the stand, so right now, just to explain what's happening here. So Georgia is in a tight front, aka a mint front, right? They call it mint a lot. Same thing, 4-eye, 0-4-eye, right? You got a four. Wait, why can you not see my mouse?
I got a question.
There it is. 4-eye, 0-4-eye, right? Head up, 0.
Should have got a question for all you deep.
So basically, what happened, and this is a common thing because they play a lot of mint defense. So all they're doing is they're showing their mint defense, and there's going to be an outside backer. You can't see it on here, but
do what Georgia does. Watch, they're in this odd front,
and they basically shift to a 4 down, right? So they basically they're going from an odd front to an even front. So that's literally what's happening here. I can't see the full picture, but we'll just say, I mean, you got a 1 here, you got a 3. It depending on where the tight end is, it's under over front pretty much. That's what basically what's happening. And what happens is it changes things for the offensive line, right? So there's the outside backer that I was talking about, right? So yeah, so if there's I don't know where the tight end is, I can't see it. Only difference between over and under. Over, if you're setting to the tight end, the 3 technique will be that way. So I can't see anything else because we're so zoomed in. But yeah, so basically what they did was went from odd to even on the late stem, and it challenged our offensive line to effectively communicate. Therefore, it led to a bust up front.
The center pulls right into the right guard, right? Because the communication isn't.
Yeah, which is a clear issue. But my thing is he's making it seem like people don't do that. A lot of people do that. A lot of people stem. And a matter of fact, that's what they're trying to whoops, sorry, we're back. I'm sorry. Let me bring us back. And welcome back into this Monday edition of the Miller's Edge. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. We're talking Alabama football again. We had scrimmage number 1 Friday. We've added our thoughts to that, kind of gone over all the intel, nuggets, all the things, everything we've learned from that scrimmage. Plus, we kind of discussed what Coach DeBoer had talked about in his press conference following that scrimmage. Alabama's already back to work, had a practice today. We have had a number of guys speak to the media. Daniel Hill and Keon Sapp, both, at least those are the ones that are posted. So we'll hear from them here in a minute, kind of get their thoughts on everything that they talked about today. Probably a little bit from the scrimmage, probably a little bit from practice today, probably a little bit from spring ball as a whole. Chase, do we have Tommy still on the line? Because I feel bad we've had him sitting there waiting. If he's still on the line, I want to take Tommy's call real quick before we dive into those interviews. Yeah, he might have dropped because I know it's been a while, but if he wants to jump on here, we'll be glad to do it. And if you guys want to, 205-342-9904. Let's take Tommy's call real quick. Tommy, welcome in, man. I appreciate you being so patient. I'm sorry about that, man.
I know I'm your redheaded stepchild. I understand. No problem.
Not in the slightest. Wait, Tommy, you sound so much better today, man. You must be feeling a lot better.
I am. I mean, we're doing something different. It seemed like it helping. We're trying to. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better. It's been a tough 5-6 weeks. I mean,
you sound so much better
about my speech and how I enunciate, where it affects my speech, and that's why I haven't called in. I don't want to sound awful. I know I sound awful enough, but hey.
You sound great, man. You sound great. Well, talk to me, man. What's been going on? What's on your mind?
Well, I'm glad you feel me on football, but I'm just going to give a shout out to baseball, softball, and I'm proud of the men's basketball team fighting hard, coming through with all the problems they had this year. I'm real proud, and we need to support the women this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, because the number 1 team in softball is coming to Tuscaloosa, Texas. So,
we already know we're going to hear from Digger then.
Yeah. But, no. I mean, I'm feeling bad. I'm getting tired. But my vocal cords, I'll go ahead and tell you, they got burned many years ago with acid reflux before I had that surgery. And they scarred and went up in my side. That's why I sound like I do. So at times, I'm just not going to call it. I went like 2 or 3 weeks not really talking to many people.
Oh, man.
My brother had a wonderful time, but I didn't. He had peace and quiet. But, that's okay.
Well, I'm just glad you're doing better, man. Like I said, you sound a world's different today. I mean, man, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous last time we had you on here. I was like, man, I hope Tommy's all right, man. I just like, I can tell he definitely probably ain't feeling too great, but glad that you're doing a lot better, man.
Oh, I had a friend call me yesterday. He said, 3 weeks ago, I was worried about you. He said, you sound like you're out of breath. I went, no, I just sound, my face is awful. No, I mean, it just,
oh, man.
It bothers me at times. And two, I have problems swallowing stuff. And I haven't been making my rounds. And people say, oh, like last weekend was my birthday, the 21st. People say, you need to go out. I went, I'm not going to the restaurant. I sound awful. Look awful. I mean, I look like Popeye without the spinach, My skin grabs kicking your muscles on one side of your face. And people think you're actually having a stroke. So.
Oh, man. Well, I'm glad it's going a lot. I'm glad it's going a lot better, and hopefully you'll be back in full groove at the softball games and all the things that you want to do, man, comfortably.
Yeah, I want to argue with your dad. I'm saving up,
Well, I was about to say save it because he's not on here just yet. I mean, he might jump. Knowing him, man, he might jump on here any minute, especially hearing that we mentioned his name. But yeah, save it because you definitely are going to be having some good conversation. But I'll be honest with you, man, Tom, you've always kind of aligned with the kind of keeping it honest kind of crowd, and I think you and him normally are pretty much on similar pages, but. I'm sure with that whole matchup with Texas coming up in softball, I'm sure we're going to get a call from Digger, and that might lead you to having to kind of respond to that, and that might bring out some passion. So you might need to save that energy for that. I can see it coming from a mile away.
For sure. I mean, it just I mean, I've enjoyed, well, me being on the puny list for 5 weeks or longer, really most of the year, been a tough year, a lot of ways. It just, maybe it's good to sometimes sit back and listen to other people. Yeah, it's different.
I wish I could do that.
I mean, I'm not saying you talk too much, but no, I enjoy it because you break it down. You play the game.
No. I'm serious. I'm saying I wish I could do that. That's why it's nice when my dad's here, because it gives me a chance to be able to sit back and let him run his mouth a little bit until I have to jump in and slow him down. He starts saying something. I'm like, okay, all right, easy, Tiger.
Yeah, but it's all
That's
good
him
fun.
Oh, it is. What you see is what you get out of him, Tommy. Well, any thoughts real quick, because we're about to hit this timeout. Any thoughts on football, anything from the scrimmage or anything? I know you hadn't called in a while.
I'm waiting for anything. I'm just listening to what y'all tell me. I mean, I need to learn how to get the app going and watch y'all live on the phone. I need to get more in the 26 here, Because,
I got you covered, Tommy. Listen. You don't even have. You can if you have an internet connection or a web browser, man. You just type in YouTube.com and then in the search bar, search the Miller's Edge. Or if you already follow the Tide 100.9 Facebook page, you might be on Facebook. We're live there every day as well. Same thing. It's on multiple platforms. X, I'm not sure if you're going to have an X account, which is formerly known as Twitter. So we'll stick with YouTube and Facebook. We'll keep it simple for you. But that's how you do it, man. It's very easy. Then you can watch me and Chase chop it up a little bit. We got Chase in the studios now. He's got a little Android camera or something going on, but it's something. It's a start. We're working on it.
Oh yeah, I'm learning. I think I have picked it up some, but when I got, I live in a rural area. Some days the internet ain't worth trout. Let me just put it in my name.
Well, you got to step it up, Tommy, because Ellis has found his way in the YouTube side of things sometimes, and I'll see him in the chat. So we got to get you in the chat too.
All right. Well, I enjoy your show. Thank you for taking my call, and I really enjoy it. Y'all take
Absolutely.
care.
Absolutely. Appreciate you, Tom. I'm glad you're doing better, man. Roll Tide. Always good to hear from you, man. Yeah, Tommy sounds like the old Tommy, man. I love that, man. Good to hear his voice. All right, we're going to hit a timeout, stay on schedule. When we come back, we're going to dive into some of these interviews from today. We got Daniel Hill. We got Keon Sabb. We'll listen to him. We'll respond to him. Plus, we'll still answer a lot of y'all's questions that we got in the chat. We'll circle back on those. And then during the breaks, man, maybe we'll pull up some tape, because I was watching some tape this weekend. I had a number of things I wanted to dive into, but it's hard to do it during the show. So we'll try to squeeze some of that during the breaks. All right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC. Dragging down your property's appeal. Hey, I'm Christian Miller, and at Asphalt Restoration, we transform driveways. Any chance we see more sacks, or do you have someone that stepped up in the scrimmage? I heard Zulu's, coming along nicely, but I don't think anybody really mentioned anything as if like they you get what I'm saying? Like, I think he's kind of, done some good stuff, but in terms of anybody really just kind of stepping up and really being like that presence just yet, I don't think they've seen that. It could be wrong, but that's nothing I gathered kind of indicated that. But do I think it could go up? I mean, I don't even know what our total was last year, but I mean, your returner comes back. I mean, you expect him to be able to hopefully build off what he did last season. He also might face a little bit more attention now that he's known, might face some more chips, might see some more, backs to his side, just stuff like that to kind of slow down his rush a little bit. But I mean, I expect him to have a big year. Yonze Pierre, I'm talking about. I expect Yonze to have a good year. From how it looks, I mean, I was hoping, I think, like Justin Hill could maybe come along. I know right now that you're seeing a little bit of, Zulu on the other side, opposite of Yonze, and then multiple guys are going to be working in there. But, we can talk about that real quick. So, like D-line, like how is it taking shape? From what I've gathered, it kind of sounds like you got Yonze at the Wolf spot. Clearly, now again, I think they're probably going to alter how they were playing up front a little bit different. When he mentioned base, I didn't get to elaborate on that. I took that as not only are you looking at more like base fronts, but I took that as they don't want – it's kind of the opposite of what I was initially kind of thinking in terms of, you talk about a lot of movement and run stunts. Matter of fact, let me pull up this tape and show you what I'm talking about. If you go back and watch that Indiana game, I know we were talking about getting our ass whooped up front, and to be fair, right? I mean, we were not physical. But a lot of those big runs also came when we were doing we did a bunch of different run stunts, right? Like looping tackles, right? Where you got a tackle, he sets a pick, the nose loops. I mean, like that, it's very common. You see a lot. I mean, Indiana does it a lot too. And they're great when they're executed flawlessly. But there's other times where it can actually kind of be an issue. Because when you have loopers, man, I mean, if the timing's not right, if a guy doesn't execute completely, I mean, you sometimes are pretty much just opening up a gap. You're running out of a gap. So that's what I meant to hit on earlier. So when they talk about playing more base, I think they're also talking about, like, from a technique standpoint, not having to feel like they're depending on, tackles and noses running these, run stunts and games up front so much. Just having big bodies that can really just strike, play their gaps up front. You know what I mean? Without being so cute, almost simplifying things up front on the defensive side of things, which I like. I think that's the idea. We're going to come back here. I'm going to play this Daniel Hill clip. I'm going to pull up this tape real quick, and I'll play that during the next timeout. And welcome back into this Monday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. We're talking Alabama football, and let's go ahead and jump into these player interviews. We got Daniel Hill up first. He spoke to the media following practice today, and this is what he had to say.
Just going out every day, working, trying to get 1% better every day. Gelling as an offense, competing with the defense every day, just trying to get better.
Notice your weight change with the updated roster. What went into that?
I had to just go back and see what I was doing wrong. I had to change the way I was eating, cardio more, and that's really it. And just keep working at that. That's something that I feel like I need to change. The coaches felt like I need to change, and I made a commitment to myself to, get my weight down.
How are you feeling with that?
The diet?
Huh?
What had to come out of the diet?
Just here and there, junk food a little bit. I wasn't eating a lot of junk food, but it was just here and there. I had to cut that out.
What's your favorite junk food?
Cookies. I say probably cookies.
No more honey buns?
No honey. I don't like honey buns. No honey.
How are you feeling now?
I feel good. I feel way faster. My body feel better. Like all the little neck injuries, things like that, I'm not having those anymore. I just feel better as a whole.
What are you seeing with this running behind this offensive line this spring?
We still got. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Just every day coming out, doing better, gelling as often. They never play together, so we just gotta come in every day, keep working at it, and we'll see how it goes during the season.
What do you see with Jackson? What do you see with Jackson at left tackle?
Jackson, he's doing good. He's doing great. He's been working ever since last season, just coming back, doing better, doing the little things right, working his ass off in fourth quarter, spring ball, everything like that.
Is it the kind of thing where you talk to members of the offensive line and say, "Hey, I need this look, I need this kind of," or is it kind of that you come together and you or what's it?
Yeah, it's just them really coming together, depending on the run, the scheme, things like that. I talk to him every day. Hey, let's keep working at this. Let's keep doing this. Good job doing this and that. So just talk to him as a running back, just telling them that I'm there for them no matter what, and just getting better.
What is the focus as you guys try to improve the running game this season compared to last? Like, what are you focusing on as a running back room to improve on?
Just being more explosive and just seeing a field better. Just running behind our pad, just doing all the little things right that can not only help us, but help the O-line, help the offense as a whole.
What we're seeing from DK?
They've been working. Ever since fourth quarter, the winter program, all that. They just been working, trying to get better, pushing me to be a better player, pushing the whole running back room for us to, become an elite group. I really love the way those guys are working.
What are your thoughts on the quarterback battle?
They're both working hard. I really can't say, who's leading. They're just both working.
Outside of your body, what's the biggest area that you wanted to take a step forward to this year?
Pass pro. I wanted to, do better in pass pro. I know I gave up a few sacks last year, and that as a running back, that just can't happen. We got to protect the quarterback. And yeah, that's something I feel like I need to work on there. I'm going to continue to work on it.
What's the hardest part about getting better at pass protection?
Just really technique and knowing when to use technique. Knowing where to go. I mean, knowing where to go. That's one part, but actually, blocking the guy. That's a whole different, aspect of the game, and that's something that I feel like I need to work on. And I'm gonna continue to do that.
So far in spring ball, how do you feel like your pass pros improved so far?
Oh, it's gotten better, but as a player, I always feel like I can get better at a different area. It's something that I really need to continue to work on, just protecting QB.
Do you feel like you have a pretty good understanding of the scheme, where you're supposed to block, picking up who you're supposed to block, and it's just really execution, or is it both?
Just for me, I feel like it's just after just making the contact, and I know who to block. It just once it gets to that point, I just have to finish the guy.
What's the biggest thing you heard from Coach about the run game? Is there something he's repeating every day to your room about improvement, or like what's kind of been the main message?
Yeah, just being an explosive group. That's something we continue to work on every day. QB mesh. When we're running the ball, Indy, that's just something we always need to continue to work on. Pride ourselves on it, just being an explosive group.
Speak on the offensive line, how they've been just doing in the run game so far.
Oh, they've been doing good. Like I said earlier, they haven't played together. They're just becoming a better group. Every day, just working to get better. And as the spring ball continues to go on, they're gonna just keep getting better.
Have any defensive linemen surprised you this spring?
Tompkins, USC, yeah, he's a really good player. Him, Dez from South Carolina, those two are really great players.
So he hasn't played a lot for you guys, but what's kind of the demeanor of EJ in your room? What's it like having him around?
He's just a great kid. He works hard. He's always trying to find ways to get better. He's constantly trying to meet, constantly trying to find ways to get better. And that's something, as a young guy, that's something that you really you want to be like that. You always want to find a little things to get better. And I'm gonna always do my best to help him. Whatever he needs, just continue to help him get better.
If he stays healthy, do you think he can make an impact this season?
Of course. As long as he knows what he's doing, as long as he's doing the right things, knows what he's doing, he can obviously make an impact for us.
With so many new pieces in place on offense, you talk about the line gelling. Just kind of how was that first scrimmage for the offense? How did you kind of see things clicking?
It was good. We can obviously get better, but as a first scrimmage, them coming together as a group, it was a good scrimmage.
How would you describe Khalifa and Trayshawn and what they bring?
Those two guys are great. Khalifa being the older guy, just coming in, knowing his role, knowing what he has to do to help us as a group get better. And Trayshawn as a young guy, just coming in, knowing what he's supposed to do, doing the little things just like EJ. He always trying to find the little things to get better for himself, and that's good seeing as a young guy wanting to do better.
Last two questions. Earlier this month, it was a report that came out that you can now squat 805 pounds. Can you confirm that? And if so, what was that process like getting to that weight?
Yes, I did do that, and the process. I mean, I've always been able to squat a lot. I say it just, I don't know, it just happened. I really don't know how to explain. Just they threw it on the bar and I did it.
Were there any big explosive runs in that scrimmage that you remember? How was the explosivity in that scrimmage?
One I can remember, probably Trayshawn. He broke off a good run. Just yeah, that's about it.
All right, so that was running back Daniel Hill speaking to the media. Chase, I feel like they asked him like the same question a number of times. He kind of had to just kind of give them the same answer. Just kind of, those guys are working, you know what I mean? But anyway, outside of that, one thing I will note is, so I mentioned, because again, I think depending on who you talk to, there were some people were kind of basically making it out to be like the offense was just kind of having their way. And from folks I talked to, it's like, well, they definitely did some good stuff. But remember, I mentioned the consistency in the running game. It's not quite there. I think they definitely probably want to build off of, like you mentioned, there's a couple of explosives here and there, but I just don't think it was as consistent as they would necessarily like. And I don't know if you caught this, but it's almost like he caught himself the first time they asked him about the running game in the scrimmage. Let me see if I can go back and find it. But I just wanted to bring that up because it sounded like he was kind of confirming what I had been told, that running game still needs a little bit of work. But was it like the first? No, it wasn't the first question, because I think he was talking about they're asking about cookies for the first 5 minutes. But hold on,
get my weight down.
Let me see if we can find it. Chase, you remember where he said it?
Cut that out.
I think it was right after the cookies. Oh, there it is, right here.
Like all the
no more honey buns.
No honey. I don't like honey buns. No honey.
How are you feeling now?
I feel good. A little neck injuries, things like that. I'm not having those anymore. I just feel better as a whole.
What are you seeing with this running behind this offensive line this spring?
We still got. It's gonna be great.
He said he's sorry to say, like, oh, we still got, oh, it's going to be great. So I think from a running game perspective, you guys are kind of curious kind of how that's going. Kind of like I mentioned earlier, I think they got to figure out the consistency piece. They're still figuring it out, and it makes sense. You got a whole new group of players, right? And that's why I said it's important that they have time to mesh and gel and hopefully figure things out. And sounds like, did you kind of hear that too, Chase, or am I reading too much into it? Did it not sound like he kind of started to say, "Oh, we still have a ways to go"? Then he caught himself.
Hey, honesty is the best policy, right? I guess not in this situation, kind of dial it back a little bit. But no, it's spring, and there are going to be some knickknacks. There are going to be some improvements on the offensive line, even different positions as well. But you could see on his face, he kind of wanted to say a little bit more, but he understood there's professionalism to it. There's more to than just speaking your thoughts, because that's happened before. Like even in college basketball, like last year, I forgot what team it was, and they were doing a lot of previewing and prepping, and a player gave his actual thoughts, and it really derailed their season. So, he kind of understood, let's just keep the team together and see where it goes from there, instead of being like, well, X, Y, and Z, this is what's going on. Y'all need to be careful.
And to be fair, nothing is even bad. Honestly, he really could have just said that. I think he just probably started to and was probably like, oh, I should just kind of just listen. If I know anything from being in their shoes, I mean, you're always going to be told ahead of time, like, only speak positive of your teammates. And so he probably was like, oh, I don't want to sound. But no, I don't think it's bad. Again, it's that was the vibe that I got. That the running game still is a work in progress. It's not quite there yet. And that's coming from your running back. He started to kind of say that. So yeah, because I just know initially, before I really had a chance to talk to a bunch of people, I just know, I think like online people were just kind of talking as if like, man, the offense is kind of like going off, and you'd almost paint a picture as if like they were just kind of running all over the place, or at least kind of even earlier on. But I don't even think it was so much that. I think they kind of had a little success maybe early, and then it kind of came back to reality for a little bit. But anyway, Daniel Hill, he also spoke about the transformation. We talked about him and Preston. I think Friday was a good day for him, and hopefully he can build off that. I mean, you look at him, Chase. I mean, let me throw it back on the screen real quick. I mean, dude's a specimen, man. And now that he's dropped some weight, it sounds like it's definitely going to benefit him well. And I'm excited about it, because I think he can definitely be a very valuable piece in that backfield, right? I mean, especially, and I do believe it's going to be a by committee approach. I know we've been saying that for the past few years, and it's always kind of like that. But in my opinion, I just feel like if you can get him to come along and take a next step, if AK Deer can make that jump from year 1 to year 2, if a true freshman like EJ Crowell can be as special as you believe he can be. And we still can't forget about a guy who I like, Kevin Riley. I mean, like, I think if you have a by committee approach, again, if your expectations that this running game is just going to magically become like a 160 plus a game on the ground, that's just not what this offense is. I don't think that's even what it really needs to be. But if it can be serviceable and to the point where when they need to run the football and you get in that 4 minutes offense, right? Or when you're just trying to have that balance and you need to be able to set yourself up for 3rd and short and help take pressure off your quarterback. If those guys can step up, that offensive line can come along. I think that's about all you need, and I think that's very manageable for this group. Just like he said, I think they just got a little bit of ways to go, and they're working at that each and every day. We got to hit a timeout. When we come back, we keep on rolling. Plus, we'll switch over to the defensive side of things. We'll hear from Keon Sabb on the other side of this break, right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC. Do you have cracks or pop? All right, we got a couple minutes. I told you guys we could pull up some tape, but if you guys want us to watch that tape, man, hit that like button. That's what I'm gonna start doing. I'm gonna use things that you guys enjoy, man. Maybe I shouldn't say it like that. Maybe that's not good. I'm being funny with this. I'm gonna watch tape regardless. But if you guys enjoy tape and breakdowns, man, hit that like button. I was trying to pull this up because we were talking about that Baldy video, what these stunts are and stuff. I mean, this is them coming out. This is a great example, right? You got London playing the nose right here. You see him set that pick for Edric. You see Edric rapping. Now, this is an example of when it works out well, right? And this is why a lot of teams do it. Again, Indiana, ironically, they do a whole hell of a lot of it. And they were one of the best teams to stop the run. But you got to be able to just line up in base. You don't want to rely on that. And I feel like sometimes it felt like we were over-reliant on a lot of this, dicing up the front. Right here, you see it working out well. London Simmons makes a nice play right here, right? I'll show you guys from the wide. You can see, right? You see London slant inside. He's working across the center's face into that opposite A gap. You see Edric. But see, this is where I'm saying it. Sometimes, like, you see how Edric's wrapping, but look how far he ends up getting. Like, sometimes you're taking yourselves out of positions. You know what I mean? Let's see. I think they ran again. We're in an even front here. This time around, kind of late getting the call in, which is already a problem. Boom. I'm glad I pulled this up. Now watch. Now, I think right here, now again, I'm just watching this with you guys right here. I didn't get this far yet. But just looking at this play, number one, we're late getting the call, which we've heard them talk about that. This needs to be better, right? You should not be trying to get lined up when these guys are about to snap the football. Even London's late. I think it looks like they're probably running some type of stunt the way they're crashing down in there. But in terms of like taking yourself like out of place, now this isn't necessarily them doing, like one of those pick stunts. But you see how we're slanting across? This is what I'm talking about, like just playing base. Instead of trying to slant, dice stuff, what happens is we're slanting across the guards. Wait, or was that the center? The guard. We're slanting across the guard's face right here. This tackle immediately climbs up to 41. We're not getting down in there. We're too busy trying to press back into here. And look at this hole that opens up. Now, from that angle, you can't really tell, but I think it ends up being like a 5-6 yard gain. You know what I mean? Just because we're kind of almost just running out. Versus if you're just playing base and you're really playing in to the man in front of you, right? If you got players that are strong at the point of attack, can do all that, sometimes it just fares better. Now, don't get me wrong. You got to mix it up. You got to do some run stunts and then and mix it up. Be a little bit aggressive sometimes, but couldn't stand all that blandness and beating around the bush. Wait. You think when our players speak to the media, they need to be more transparent about the issues that actually exist? I don't know. I feel like some things, don't need to be really said like in public either. I think it's a combination. You can be honest and transparent, but also without like, saying too much. So I think there's a balance. And welcome back into the Miller's Edge, Tide 1.9, 1230 WTBC. We just heard from Daniel Hill addressing the media following practice today. And now we're going to go and listen to Keon Sabb, who also addressed the media. So let's listen to some defensive talk, Chase. How's that sound? This one's a little bit shorter. It's only like 4 or 5 minutes. But here's Keon Sabb addressing the media following practice today. Looks all professional. Look at him like standing with his hands by his side. He looks very, very, very. He's ready. He's ready to speak, man. Let's see what he's got to say.
Whenever you guys are ready.
Yeah, what were your thoughts on the scrimmage this past weekend?
I think it was really good. A lot of people competing out there, a lot of young guys making some plays, earning trust on the team.
I'm gonna pause real quick. Listen, from what I know about being in their shoes and also just being in the media, that answer, then going back to how Daniel like started to say one thing and then he kind of took some steps back, Chase. They prepped these guys. They literally told these guys, you're right. I'm telling you this how it works. They tell you, hey, they're going to ask you about this. They probably told them they're going to ask you about the scrimmage. Don't talk about anything specific. You don't need to mention anything. Just be very general, praise your teammates. I'm telling you, that's exactly what happened. I can see it all over his face, man. And even Daniels after he started that. That's why he kind of retracted after he didn't even say anything bad. But anyway, I just thought that was funny because it makes sense now. It makes sense, man.
What have you seen from the safety room? I know Bray's limited. Who's kind of stepped up?
Ivan Taylor stepped up a lot. Zay Mincy's stepped up. Rael, and Jair Evers as well. So we got some young guys playing a lot of snaps right now.
What have you seen from Ivan?
Ivan just continuing to get better each and every day. Guy that keys into any little detail. So when you see that from a young guy, it's really important.
Where would you like to see some improvement coming off the first scrimmage?
Just to improve as a team, being able to play together with a lot of new guys, 40-some odd different transfers and things like that, new players. So being able to gel as a team and get to that level where we play all as one.
What was the process for you coming back with this year?
It was very important for me to get an opportunity to play a full season healthy. So that was something that was important for me.
How healthy do you feel this spring?
I feel really good. Obviously, continue to get through the spring and to season and camp and stuff like that is important for me.
What were some of your goals when you decided to come back?
Win a national championship. I won one already, so I'm trying to win my second now. We got the talent and stuff to do it, so looking forward to it.
A lot of new guys in front of you, in the front seven. What have you seen from them?
We got some really guys that are dogs. Like at Bama, you want guys that really compete. I feel like through the transfer portal and through the young guys, I think we found that.
Who kind of represents that? Who comes to mind when you think of that dog?
I really feel like it's all of them. There's no one single guy. We all pride ourselves in playing as a unit. So once I see one guy, I feel like it's the whole unit down there.
You said earning trust. What's the key for the young guys to earn that trust?
Proving to your teammates that you can do what you're supposed to each and every snap. Not being amazing on one play and being decent on another. Being able to be consistent throughout the entire game.
Has anybody surprised you with that consistency already?
Ivan Taylor is the guy that I said earlier in the safety room, so I'm hands-on with that as well. I think he's been really showing up.
So to have your brother come here?
Yeah, that's an amazing experience, especially for my family. I have my little brother here with me. Last few years, I've been away with college and stuff like that. He's been playing with his younger brother as well, so I get a chance to do it with him.
What do you think he can provide?
Excitement, joy. Kind of selfishly for me, just have my little brother around, but he's coming up here to do his job as well.
What's it like having Bray as well back alongside you in that safety group?
It's amazing. Me and him has built a really good bond on the field. I know where he's going to be, he knows where I'm going to be, so just looking forward to getting him back out there.
Did you talk over your NFL decisions together kind of at the same time? How did that work?
We talked a little bit, but his decision is what's best for him, and mine is the same way. So it ultimately worked out together with us both coming back. So that was pretty cool.
Can you scout your brother? Like, what does he do well?
He's very explosive. Short area quickness is a really big thing for him. So I look forward to me guarding him, tackling him, throwing him up a couple of times. So
what's your approach?
My approach?
Yeah.
Be physical. I'm big brother. He's little brother, so it's coming with the physicality.
Who's winning that one-on-one?
Oh, me. He's a good guy. He's talented. Even my younger brother thinks he can mess with me, but I'm top dog. So, yeah.
There are new quarterbacks to go against now. The spring camp. How would you evaluate how they've played so far?
Two really talented guys. They both got different strengths and weaknesses. Just learning to play against them. Honestly, I think they're doing a really good job on both sides. Looking forward to the competition to go out through the spring into camp as well.
So many guys coming back in the secondary. Just how good do you think this season can be?
Best in the country.
What's the key to getting there?
Consistency. Can you do it each and every snap, like I said before? So once we get to that point where I felt like we were close last year, I feel like we'll take it to that next step this year.
How have you seen Xavier grow?
He's grown a lot. Coming from corner to safety, it's definitely a really hard transition, but he's been making it look really easy. He's been getting better each and every day, so looking forward to that.
What's it like having two corners that are 6 foot forward?
It's a blessing, man. I can stay in the post, and I can really trust and lean on those guys to make plays and do what they're required to do.
What were your overall thoughts on the communication in the back end during that first scrimmage?
Obviously, I didn't think it was up to the standard, but it was pretty good. Obviously, we're looking forward to just keep getting better and continue to grow throughout the scrimmages.
So much turnover inside linebacker. You guys having to do more on the back end in terms of setting things up?
No, I feel like the linebackers, they do their job as well. They command their side of the ball, their area with the front line. The DBs do their job at the back end as well.
More questions?
Good.
All right, that was DB Keon Sapp. A little bit he's definitely media trained, Chase. I think we all can agree on that one, man. He ain't giving up too much there, which I don't blame him. To be fair, and to answer Jake's question, he said, "Can you opt out of media sessions or is it forced?" Here's the thing. I don't know if you can. I used to try to get out of it. I'm not gonna lie. I hated speaking to the media because I used to get nervous. I used to get nervous sitting in front of them, and I just would rather not do it. But they highly encouraged it. I think technically, if I said, "There's absolutely no way I can go speak to the media," I'm sure I don't think they would literally drag me on stage to go do it. But it's definitely very much encouraged, and it's a good vessel to be able to get your face in front of the camera. Listen, you'd be surprised how many people actually say like, "Oh man, I had no idea what you look like because I'm used to seeing you with your helmet on." So especially in a space where NIL is a thing, being able to kind of build your brand, get out there, become recognizable in front of the media is definitely very beneficial. But and to be fair, I mean, could the questions be better? Absolutely. And shout out to Jaisha. Jaisha, she asked some really dang good questions, man. I know somebody complimented her on that with Ty Simpson. Matter of fact, I think it was her question that was kind of going viral from Pro Day. But they're also, I mean, they also know probably there's only so many things that these guys will say, at least depending on who you ask. But I do think if you guys are wondering why some of their answers sound like that, you got to get it out of them. And that's why it's important as a media member, like to have those good questions, to do your research, to try to learn and present them with things that you can tell. If you ask a guy something that actually excites him or it's, you know, piques his interest, whatever, you can tell in his answer. The other things that are just kind of, oh, how'd this guy look? You know, I mean, there's a little bit difference there, but at each his own. Anyway, anything from that, Chase, that you really took away? I think he was, you know, pretty much very, you know, politically answering that, kind of to say we're going to get better. Hey, you know, stacking days, consistency. We want to win a championship. You know what I mean? Like he didn't really dive in, but he did mention Ivan Taylor, who I've been saying for, you know, one of the guys that's going to be like, I think a second-year player. I think he kind of impresses me and he's somebody to look out for. But anything from that, Chase, or just kind of we probably heard the same thing. Just nice little post-practice
I would
thing.
say, and you said it too, just being media trained in terms of the questions you ask, because you really can tell a lot from a player by how they answer your question. And I learned a lot of that this season and just really learning, like, okay, a player likes to talk more about this player than just saying, oh, this player did X, Y, and Z. Because you kind of see the differences within each player from last season. So I think that was huge. But I like the leadership that he talked about, being the big dog, little brother. That was pretty funny. But
Yeah.
you know, he said it's about consistency. I think that's the one thing that you saw last year that was just kind of not their bread and butter. But I think if they can have consistency, and like you said, they can be the best secondary in the country, and they have the talent to do that. But like you said, consistency matters. And if you don't have consistency, what are we talking about? So, but yeah, the media training is important, and I'm learning that. So I appreciate you for bringing light to that.
Hey, it goes both ways. I mean, like he's an older guy, you can tell. He's experienced speaking to media. He's, you know, just going to keep things close to the vest, just be very respectful and just kind of keep it simple. And it's not, I wouldn't say there's nothing wrong with that. I know for us, are the fans listening, you want to hear more, but from his perspective, I mean, I think he's just trying to look out for his team and just, you know, keep things a bit more private. So respect both ways. Of course, from my end now, it's a little bit better when you got guys that say a little bit more because it gives us more to talk about. But anyway, we got to hit a timeout. When we come back, we will. We got the Pastor Payne on here. We'll see what he has to say, man. Looks like he. I don't know what he's got going on with his camera, man. He's kind of all over the place. Hopefully, he's focusing on driving, though. I think that's probably the most important right now. So we'll get him all set up and hear what he's got to say. We come back right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230. WTBC.
Coming up on.
Let me see if there it goes. Whoa! You just run somebody over?
I had a pothole.
Hey,
South
you know
Carolina,
what? Maybe
South
you
Carolina
should,
highways.
yeah, maybe we should let you focus on that, brother. I mean, you sound like you damn ran a cat over or something.
I might have had somebody.
Yeah, well, let's hope that wasn't the case, man. Let's hope that wasn't the case.
No, I didn't even. I'm at my lunch spot. Just
It's great play by Tim right here, man. Great recognition of the screen. I mean, he knows it immediately. As soon as he feels the lineman working downfield like that, turn, target acquired. Great play, man. Shout out to the guy, to our guy Tim. It would help though if they would ask some good football questions about football, not people, you know. Yeah, and that's why I always say, man. I mean, like if you ask a guy a good question like that, they'll give you a lot more. But you know, for guys that are trained like that, I mean, there's only so much. Like, you know, if they ask about another guy, right? I mean, they're taught to just, you know, positively speak those guys up. So there's only, you know what I mean? There's so much they can really say. But I get why the the media asks those questions because it gives them something to write about, right? I mean, like they're not going to practice, so their way of kind of having an idea on what's going on is asking the players, right, or the coaches, kind of, oh, what have you seen out of this guy? So I get it from the media perspective too. I mean, I'm not trying to sound overly critical of them, but I do wish they would ask more football related questions, not so much like on what have you seen out of guys, but more so football specific stuff, because I just think the answers would be a lot better.
Well, you can't ask questions if you don't know specifics of the game.
Well, that's why I said I urge them to learn.
When some guys do ask something football related, coaches say, "Oh man, I really appreciate it." Then just generic questions. I mean, you have to, it's like these sideline reporters that drive me nuts. They all ask the same question. It's like, how you
Well,
make
to be
these
fair,
adjustments.
sideline, you got to be quick though. You kind of got to be in and out.
No, but they ask the same questions, all of them.
No, the beat reporters,
And
yeah. But I'm
some
saying
kind of-
on the sideline though, like I will say, like when I used to interview Coach Saban going into halftime, sometimes I'd add a little bit more in there, but I know him, and he's just eager to get in there and get on the whiteboard and make corrections. So it's like you can't drag it out too much. So sometimes it is quicker to be kind of in and out. But you're right though. No, I definitely get what you're saying. What we got here? What's the down and distance? 1st and 10. Trips left. Who we playing? Showing middle of the field closed, and we're playing cover 3. Y'all better stop sleeping on Mendoza, man. Jimmy, I feel like people have been disrespecting that man. I love all the extra hype for Ty right now, but I think people are kind of doing what they do every year, where it's like you got the not clear, but you got the favored, then everybody's trying to find reasons why that person shouldn't be. I don't know how they didn't call holding. I mean, James Smith, great swim move right there on that guard. Looked like the center grabbed onto him. Should have called that. And it's holding too by left tackle. They don't call anything, man. I mean, even Keon Keeley right here. That's a hold. I mean, clear as day. That ref's staring right at that, man. Damn shame. They ain't even call that. I'm not one to make excuses, but that's a bad no call, man. That's a bad no call. And welcome back into this Monday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. All right, we got the pastor of Payne joining us here. He's jumped on here. Sound like he's headed to his lunch spot. Hey, you need to hang on here for a second though, because Justin over with the Bama Standard, he had made some intro music, and it's actually kind of cool, man. Now, I'm assuming, I know Justin didn't rap this song, or he didn't make these lyrics. I mean, I'm assuming it's AI, but it's amazing the things that you can do nowadays. But without further ado, man, let's welcome the pastor of Payne in here, man. Welcome in.
What's happening? Happy Monday. Hey, it's Holy Monday, Chase. It's Holy Monday. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing blessed, highly favored. How are you?
I'm blessed and highly favored, squared. Yeah, man. So doing good. Just let everybody know this on the chat and on live on the Tide 100.9 this Holy Day. And just a quick reminder that Jesus visited the temple, wasn't too happy now. Of course, he flipped over them tables because they were making the place to be a marketplace. He said it's a house of prayer, not a marketplace. So happy Monday. So, speaking of that, I just want to tell you, man, that I, of course, I cleaned out my temple, spiritually done a good job of that, but physically I had to get this thing clean. Been at the gym 3 days out of the 4, man. I was just at the gym. I got some cardio in today. I crushed 135.
Wait. On bench?
I actually did free weights. I laid down that thing and I was a little bit nervous. I was crushing it, but I was like, I ain't gonna go in there. I'm not gonna rush to get up there. I'm just gonna take my time, do 15, 20 reps, and keep moving. So that's all. I ain't want nothing today, man. I just want to holler at y'all. Just say happy Holy Monday. And you know what? If any other fat people on this chat,
Jesus Christ,
on live radio, and you need to clean out your physical temple, go get it right. You got to go turn over some fat cells and make a muscle. Let's go. Let's go get it.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you if you were sticking to that. I know you and Adam were mentioning kind of the Planet Fitness, and shout out to Adam. Speaking of Adam, Lamprello Law, Education and Advocacy, attorney and professor who joins us every Thursday. If you guys are in need for any type of representation, whether that's criminal defense, whether it's an NIL case, you know, it could be academic misconduct. Hopefully you didn't get in trouble for that. You never know, though. First Amendment cases, you name it, they've got you covered. But also on top of that, they even offer services to graduate students, high school, college students, you name it, test taking preparation, subject matter mastery, application strategy, personal statements, resumes, long-term academic and professional planning, and so much more. But even better, the pricing is better than anywhere you'll find in terms of representation or those services. Plus, they do it with genuine care, relentless passion, and advocacy. Make sure you guys check them out at Lamprello Law, 201-317-5115, or email Adam at lamprello-law.com. Again, that's Lamprello Law, the official representation here on the Miller's Edge. He's been doing a damn good job keeping us informed on all the latest. Any case, whether it's NIL related, all the way stuff, the Bediaco stuff, man, we love it. I love having some official lawyer representation here on the show. Plus, also, I feel protected, man. That's why you guys need you get to get your own representation. Check out Adam, man. He'll take great care of you. Real quick, I saw you put a post up about the UFL, man. I enjoyed it. I watched some of it too this weekend,
good.
man. So were you mentioning like the play itself? Because there were some good games for sure. Shout out to AJ McCarron. I reached out to AJ. Hopefully we can try to get him on the show at some point. He got his first win as a head coach for the Birmingham Stallions. And then also Bugs, my former teammate, he's playing with Orlando. I got to catch that game last night.
Yeah,
Captain
that
Monaghan, head
Orlando
coach.
game was fire. They had DJ Khaled at halftime there. DJ Khaled was in that thing doing his whiz piece. But no, the intensity, I love it. It gives you a little college, but on steroids a little bit. I mean, and I love the fact that how they can go inside. You can talk to a player, hey, what y'all got called right here? We got to stretch, inside zone run. He's reading the safety or blah, blah, blah. And it gets to give these people that don't know the game a little bit more insight. And the fact that, we're winding down on college basketball, we're getting ready to get to the doggy days of spring and summer. Thank God for the UFL, the United Football League. And it's a good product. ESPN does a very nice job of covering it. I mean, you got former players out there on the sideline asking questions. I love it. I think, heck, if I couldn't play in the league and was aspiring to play, I would be a part of that league. I don't know what their salary is, probably about 50, 60, 70,000, but
exactly spot on.
But it'll give you a chance to go out there and compete and get you some tape and see what you can do. Hopefully more people will definitely come out, go out and watch it. I think I'm gonna go see my brother one of these days and go see Orlando because he lives right by the stadium, not too far, 25 minutes. I wouldn't mind going check that out spring day.
Hit Bugs up. Bugs is like a team captain. He's playing D tackle.
Yeah, but he got too many chains and all that stuff. He do hookahs. I smoke cigars. I don't do hookah, whatever.
Yeah, hookah is the tennis shoe that it's actually
something like Chase be doing. Hey guys, come into the hookah shop. Get your flavor on.
Chase does not strike me as a hookah guy at all. I could be wrong, but he doesn't strike me as a hookah guy. But if he's a cigar guy, I know a great place for him. R&R Cigars right here, 2703 Gary Fifth Street. Or if you need a place to go watch any of the games, baseball, softball, you name it, they got it for you. Best humidor in the Southeast. Over 160 bourbons right there for you. Got to pair up as well and drink responsibly. We don't need any more Tiger Woods situations. I don't know what is going on.
He wasn't drinking. That was medication. That was medication.
I got
Tiger
you.
has been dealing with. And the pain medicine is extremely addictive. It's one reason I don't like to take narcotics. I had some, doc gave me stuff for my, Tylenol, codeine stuff. I've never taken one pill of that because, he was like, then he gave me some nasal spray just because it's addictive that you got to spray in your nose. I'm like, man, I'm not, if I can make it, I'll fake it till I make it. You feel me, Chase? I'm going to fake this thing till I make it. And, Yeah, if I was hurting that bad, granted, I'd take that thing, then I go to sleep. I'm definitely not getting behind the wheel. So, everybody wants to judge Tiger Woods. He made a mistake, but we need to pray for Tiger Woods.
For
Hallelujah.
sure.
We need to put
No.
some anointing oil on his back.
I want.
And on his neck and on his ankle.
Whoa, brother. Let's keep the anointing oil on the front, the forehead, his back, brother. Where are
you
you
can
going?
on his ears, you can on his neck, you can on him in that lower back,
Okay.
his
Whoa.
leg.
Okay. And that will do
this
it.
Is not P. Diddy oil. I'm
Okay.
talking about the holy oil of Jesus Christ, not P. Diddy oil. P. Diddy is knowing everything,
I highly doubt
The
Jesus
devil
working
is
down the
alive.
back. I think Jesus was on the forehead.
Chase, come on, Chase. You're man of the cloth, Chase. Come on, help a
Jesus
brother
Christ.
out.
That is insane.
And this is why I started the show by saying that he needs to get retrained for the media, because 2026, he's talking about putting an oil. Okay. All right.
No,
Pray
you
for
lay
Tiger
hands on different spots where they need prayer. Something ain't. I'm
And
just saying, a lower back.
this is why pastors get in trouble nowadays,
He
man.
had neck. He had an ankle surgery. He needs some hands laid on him, and understand that. Listen, I ain't judging you, but if if you're Buddhist, I mean, Tiger's Buddhist. You got to get Jesus, man. Listen,
And we got to get out of here. That'll do it for us on this Monday edition,
Jesus
though.
not
But
there in that tomb.
if you
Jesus
guys
not
want
there.
overtime, you're 100% right. But if you guys want overtime, I'm going to stay on the stream. Hopefully, he'll stay on here for 10 minutes real quick. We'll be back for a Talking Tuesday edition right here on the Miller's
What's wrong
Edge
with you?
Tide on 100.9, 1230 WTBC.
You've been listening to the Miller's Edge, tackling sports daily.
Man, what is wrong with you, man? Yeah, he's shaking his head, man. I told you guys. I said it before. I told you guys, man. There's no telling what's going on. He's going to come out his mouth, man. Like, all seriousness, though, man. What church you talking about putting anointing oil on lower backs? Because that sounds to me like some nonsense that these pastors be getting in trouble for. See, I'm not, and obviously I know you're joking. Let me be clear, because I ain't trying. You can't hear me? Why are you making that face? Can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
Oh my gosh, man. Hold on. No, so now he can't hear. We're talking about anointing oil on lower backs and he can't hear. You can't hear me?
Yep.
You can?
No.
Hold on. Don't go. All right, hold on. Now let's try this again. Hopefully it didn't mess with
I don't even know how to reset mine.
You're good. Can you hear me though? Okay. All right. We'll figure it out. And hopefully we're still streaming on X. I know it kind of disappeared from up here. Anyway, see, this is what these pastors get in trouble for nowadays, right? It starts stretching stuff, right? Anointing oil is supposed to be on the forehead. Now they're saying, okay, you can put it on your neck. Okay, you got a bad shoulder trap, put it here, and now it's working its way down the back, man. Hey, that's that nonsense, man. He said, see, this is why Drewski is making skits on this stuff, man. You can't make this stuff up. Again, not him. He's not doing that. But I'm sure there are some people that, Lord have mercy, man. Lord have mercy. While we're waiting on him to come back, which there he is now, and hopefully you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what happened. It might have, I don't know. Maybe Jesus wasn't really happy about that whole anointing oil down the back. No, all seriously, though, I wasn't I wasn't trying to make fun of Tiger. I mean, that clearly is a problem. It's just too much of a reoccurring thing for him for it not to be. My issue is, though, and it's not like money is not a factor here, other than, brother, if you got that much money and you have a problem, brother, hire a driver. Like LeBron and these people. He's got that type of money.
Tiger Woods. Listen, Tiger
No, I'm
Woods
saying
is
if you
not
no, listen, no, I'm saying you the one that said he needs to get help. You said that. I
No,
didn't.
I'm
I
saying that
don't think he's a junkie, but I'm saying if you know you are taking medication or whatever it is, and you know you shouldn't be driving, right? Or it could make you tired. Like, I don't know what the case was. I don't know. I'm just saying, what sense does it make to not just hire a driver? LeBron James, who ain't taking that, he just wants to meditate on the way to games. So what does he do? He gets in that Maybach. He sits in the back, that brand new custom Maybach they made just for him. But I think he already got one. But he sits in the back. He's got his Beats headphones on. He's relaxed. He's meditating, doing all that stuff. And he's got a driver driving him to the games. So Tiger,
Listen, man,
brother, you got all that money, brother. You just hire a driver.
Tiger Woods was probably, this is just my opinion, was probably either headed to the golf course or probably coming from the golf course. And I'm sure he probably had taken some meds, pain stuff after he finished, and probably didn't live that far from the course, obviously. And the thing he's guilty of was going too fast. I mean, and you know, he had that new range. He's probably whipping around there driving too fast, and the trailer, whatever, got caught up. And listen, I do not think Tiger Woods was impaired at all. I ain't believing that crap. And if it was anybody else but Tiger Woods, they probably would have, man, go home, whatever, do your thing. This was all just about, I hate to say it, but it was just about, this is who it was. I mean, you know, he was impaired. He wasn't drinking. Yeah, everybody knows Tiger Woods takes pain medicines. Everybody knows that.
No, I didn't know that. Who is everybody?
Yeah, I mean, he had an accident before. Listen, there's medication that you can take that tells you, like, listen, do not operate any heavy machinery or drive, because it can make you drowsy or a little bit lethargic. It can make you do that. So, yeah, that to me, and as an athlete, let me just say this, as an athlete, you're gonna probably be like, you know, I've taken after games and then having to drive home strong pain medicines before. Yeah, you know, but I didn't get in an accident now. But somebody goes, "Oh, you look impaired." Yeah, I'm tired and I'm taking some pain medicine, but I'm not. I can drive. I mean, I'm not the dude turned with a trailer, and if I'm guilty, I was going too fast. Okay, give me a ticket. I was going too fast.
But clearly he shouldn't be driving if he's turning. Listen, man, I hear what you're saying to an extent, but at the same time,
ain't buying it.
No, I'm not buying what you're saying because he's got money for a driver. Just get a driver. If I'm saying, if you know you take,
go to the daggum golf. Kids,
clearly he does because he can't drive upright. I mean, brother, how many times does he flip the car?
Driving too fast, and that's they ain't had nothing about needing a driver. They need to stop all this crap.
They need to put a governor. They need to put a governor on his damn vehicle. You remember I used to ride dirt bikes. Remember he used to always talk about, man, you know, if you want to go faster, you know, they got a governor that limits the speed. But you know, some people used to try to get in there and take the governor off. That way, you can really, you know, get a little bit more horsepower out of that dirt bike, that whatever, that motorcycle, brother. I mean, they need to put a I don't know, some type of governor on his vehicle.
Listen, anybody,
Andy, what do you mean? Anybody is overblown, brother? No, it's not, man. How many? Listen, this happened. Listen, when it happens one time, it could be a mistake. When it happens two times, maybe it's a mistake, but we're starting to trend towards, okay, that could be an issue. It happens three times, man. That's a pattern.
Well,
that's a pattern, man.
Tell them how Adam Lamparello will get him up out of it.
Well, that's what I was about to say. Adam's in the chat. We got a super chat from Adam. Adam, we appreciate it. He says, man, Adam, man, seriously, I don't think Adam was in here. My dad had a good idea. We might need to start calling it the Lamparello Law Studios. Live from the Lamparello Law Studios, man. Adam, let me know what you think about that, because I think it sounds damn good. He says, Christian, do you think Mack or Wilson has the edge at this point? Corey, I found your golf tournament. I will go and outbid all those non-Giants fans for the helmet. Adam, make sure you bring your A game on that golf course, because I'm gonna get a report card, man. I don't know if you're a big golfer, but would love to see you swing, and hopefully you can pair it with. How do people play with you? I mean, are you playing in the tournament?
No, I don't play. I just ride around the golf cart, take pictures.
Well, I mean, play with Adam if he wants to. If he wants to play around.
I mean, listen, this is he can come anyway, but I'm gonna do something for him. I got an idea for him.
Well, good.
Hey,
let me answer his question. Oh, he said he's not a golfer, but he wants. Okay, well, Adam, you ain't got to golf.
I got a package for him. I'm gonna take care of him. I told him to call my phone on that paper. So,
Christian, do you think Mack or Russell has the edge at this point? I'll be honest, Adam. I don't think either guy really. I think depending on kind of who you might talk to, I'll be honest with you, I hadn't really seen them really this year. So I can't speak on it from my personal opinion, but just going off of what I've been told, I mean, I think both guys have been doing some really good stuff. I mean, I think Keelan's been very impressive. I think he's making a lot of good progress. But I think Austin Mack also is looking how he should look as a guy that's got the most time in the system and definitely a reliable piece. But from what I was told in the scrimmage, both guys had solid days. Both guys did some really good stuff. Both guys also had some throws they could probably learn from. They might want back. Which is expected in scrimmage number 1. But I think as of now, things are still, it's so early in the battle that it's way too early to think that one guy might have a true edge. I'm sure there's probably been a practice or two where one guy's really kind of, elevated himself a little bit more than others, and same thing going for the other guy. But I just think it's really early right now. But I've heard a lot of really good stuff about Keelan Russell still. I mean, making, a lot of impressive throws, both guys, but I don't know, man. Just something about Keelan, some of the things that he does, it kind of lines up with kind of what I've been saying about the two of them. Like, they're both really good quarterbacks. I'm not like, somebody was on our comment section like accusing me of like favorites and bias and like all this stuff. I was kind of confused because I've never once like lobbied for anybody to win a job. Like, respectfully, I don't have like I don't have a horse in any of these races. I mean, it's indifferent for me. I just say what I think.
You want the best guy? You want whoever the best guy is?
Yeah, that's at the end of the day. I want the best guy. I don't care if it's a 60-year-old freshman. I mean, if it's the best player, I want the best player. I think they just heard the way I talked about Keelan. They thought I'm like picking sides. I'm not picking sides. I'm just, from what I've seen with my eyes, it just feels like Keelan is he's a special player, man. And if he's up to speed on the things that he needed to progress on, I just think it's hard not to play like a guy like that, because my dad always talks about flashes, right? Like there's football players like for me, when I got to college, for a while in my career, I didn't always flash a whole bunch because I was so busy trying to focus on doing my job, being a dependable player for Coach Saban, proving that I was trustworthy and you could rely on me to go out there and do my job and not have a bunch of MEs. And that was like my main focus. But my dad and others, I mean, would say like, hey, at the end of the day, man, like that's all great. But the next step is you got to start going back to who you were, like why they recruited you. And like I would make plays and flash like in scrimmages, but I needed to do it more consistently. I was a little bit too focused on doing my job versus them really flashing. And at the end of the day, man, football is about making big plays. And I just think Keelan just has a little bit more of that to him, man. That flash to him, that big time playmaking ability where, if they get to a point where he's up to speed on the system and the consistency's there, I fully believe that it's hard not to go with the guy like that, especially when you're talking about a day and age of college football where there's a lot of really good teams, a lot of really good players, man. And games are going to come down to those final few moments, those final few plays. And if you have a guy that can improvise, a guy that can craft and make something out of nothing, you know what I mean? Like I think it's hard to deny a player like that. But definitely a really good question, Adam. I think it's a little early, but the goal is this Friday, I think they scrimmage again. Maybe the passer Payne will be kind enough to host the show for the first 20, 30 minutes. I can go up there. Here's the thing. They start the scrimmage early. The problem is if they get out there on the practice field like 9:15, they're not going to really start doing team stuff until like 9:45. I would be able to see like maybe 30 minutes tops. And then
you just got to link it up, man. If you let me know, it's a Good Friday. That's Good Friday.
The thing is, or worst case, I could see if Chase wouldn't mind playing. Like the problem is basketball just ended.
I can host a show if you tell me for sure that's what you want. I'll be at the house, at the studio, up and roll with it. But just let me.
No, not even long because they finish at 11. I was worried about the problem is with it being
I just
me,
open the show and get it going.
Yeah. If you're able to do that, then I should be able to sneak up there Friday. Regardless, though, even if I don't get to see it with my own eyes, man, I mean, like I talk to plenty of people. I mean, I have a pretty good idea on kind of how.
Well, I'm telling you, I'll do it. Just let me know. So.
Yeah, well, that's the game plan. I just got to make sure it's for sure going to be Friday and the timing and all that. But yeah, I will plan on just putting my own eyes on it Friday. Let's see. I'm trying to think. I thought I was reading some up. There another scrimmage? Yeah. So yeah, Jake, I want to say it's Friday. It's either Friday or they used to do it on Saturday, but I want to say it's on Friday. Adam needs to drop his business card off. Yeah, well, you
Put
mean
it
at the
up,
golf
Nikki,
tournament?
post it.
No, I think he's talking about at the golf tournament. No, we got it pulled up right here.
Well, I got to talk with him about a package.
I'm talking about our stream, man. We're talking about that right now. There's Adam's stuff for.
Oh, you said golf tournament.
Oh no, Jake was talking about that. I'm talking about this stuff. But shout out to our guy Adam, man. That's Adam's information for all you guys that are trying to find somebody to represent you at a very affordable rate, man. Very affordable rate, but also first class, relentless effort. I mean, you guys hear him on Thursdays, man. I mean, dude's going to go to bat for you, literally. So I think the website's soon to be launched, but regardless, all the contact info is right there for you guys. What was I about to say? I
gotta eat my salad because I've been eating all day.
You just have to have a schedule where you can put them in to begin with, and put Keelan in the same. Wait. You have to have a schedule where you can put them in to begin with, and put Keelan in the same with running backs. You know. Calvin asked, "Can he play in your golf tournament?" Yeah, you guys can. You got to register though. I don't know what their dates are.
I'll give you I'll text you the thing to put it up.
It'd be nice if the KDB interview started right at 11. You could just run that until you got back. That's a great point. Yeah, that was the problem though, is that like the intro, like you know what I mean? Like if it was the fact that it's like they runs through the intro, like I have to be on the intro of the show. Now I could always start, like you just mentioned, an interview. It would have worked out Friday. Now that I think about it, I probably could have had Nate Oates audio playing while we were doing March Madness, and that was like a 20-minute clip. I really probably could have done that and been able to, but it just, like I said, I didn't really have it all set up. I just assumed that I wasn't going to be able to make it, but Friday should be good. I mean, regardless, guys, I'm just telling you right now. I mean, everybody I talk to, I trust their, I trust their opinions on all of that. So
yeah, but you need to go out there. It's better if you go see what your own eyes.
No, 1,000%. But you also got to understand. I mean, there's tape. There's a lot of other things that like that. You know what I mean? So just know. I mean, like we got you guys covered. Jackson said, "What's up?"
I'm gonna go eat me a salad.
All right, good deal.
I'll send you the picture of that golf.
I'll put it on. If you give me a couple of minutes, I'll put it on the screen that way. I mean, I'd have to. Let me see. I might be able to do it from my computer. 2 seconds. I'm gonna pull up some tape here. I told you guys we're gonna watch some tape, man. I was in a tape watching mood this weekend. Now I'm kind of like, we might as well do it on the stream. You guys always ask about it, and I'm like, you know what? That's kind of what we do around here that everybody really enjoys. So I need to get back to doing that. Let me see. Because we're trying to hit that 5K mark, man. We're close to that 5K mark. So I'm going to throw some tape on here. But let me try to pull this up for him. Give me 2 seconds. Because I know I'm using a new PC. So give me 2 seconds.
All you got to do is say something crazy. You bet 10,000.
I don't do it like that, man.
I don't know. I'm just kidding.
I don't do it like that. No, but you're not wrong, though, man. You're not wrong. But
the right opinion, therefore.
Nah, but that's why I told myself, listen, the tape, we'll grow so quick off of just doing what we always do and breaking down tape. I just got to do it more consistent. The problem is I can't do it during the radio. You know what I mean? Like I can't do it during the radio because I like I think why am I hearing myself? I think the best thing to do would be do a nighttime live show where we specifically break down tape. Hold on, let me just send it over here. I'm trying to get your thing pulled up for you. Hold on. Save. Give me 2 seconds, guys. We're gonna watch a couple clips real quick. Trying to be nice, man. Trying to get his golf tournament stuff here. In case you guys are interested in playing some golf at the Pastor Payne's golf tournament. All right. I'm going to pull that up here in a second. All right. When the season starts back. When the season starts back, they should hit 500. Oh, okay. I was like, whoa, 5K. No. We'll hit 5K before that. I'm gonna really get in grind mode. We're gonna hit that 5K before that. But you're right, though. I mean, by the season, I would say I want to be around like 7,500. I think it's doable, man. I think it's doable. We just got to pump out the content. We'll start doing more breakdowns since you guys really like that. But oh wait, they did call holding on that. I apologize to that ref, man. I said they didn't call holding. And the reason I went back to watch this, guys, I know you guys are like, why you watch Indiana? I just went back to watch it because we were talking a little bit about, or listening to Coach DeBoer kind of talk about playing more base and doing some of the stuff they wanted to do up front. I was kind of just like, let me go back and kind of watch what kind of, I don't know, get another lens at kind of what we were doing. But I mean, here's a big run. Let's see what happens here. So we start off showing an even front, right? We get into an odd front, and this is like a true odd front because right here you got a 5, a 0, and a 5, right? So this isn't really gearing up to play the run, right? This is more, even though it's 1st and 20, but normally if you got a 505, like a true odd front like that, that's a little bit more on the pass heavy side, which I guess is P and 20. But see, this is what, remember I used to talk about this when we used to get into this odd front and have the wolf hover at like 2 yards. This to me is something like that. This is what happens when you know what I mean? Like you're in an odd front. Like it almost is like you're setting yourself up to where if they run the football, you're going to get gashed, right? I mean, that's exactly what happens. And I'll go to the tight angle so you guys can see it. Like, I don't know if we're just expecting pass, but this is just not ideal. I mean, you got a 0 nose, you got a wide 5. I mean, James Smith, this isn't even like a hand to foot 5, guys. I mean, this is like jet mode 5, what would you call that? You have a tight 5/6 technique here. Then you got your wolf just hovering, right? Which just allows this guy to climb up, which Quay Rousseau does a nice job jacking him up. But really, the point I'm trying to make is if you're in just a true even front, instead of having a guy that's just hovering off the ball a couple yards waiting to catch a guy, I mean, if you have a D tackle lined up in a 3 right there, you have a chance of really playing on the other side of the line of scrimmage. But there are things you can do out of this that are positive. But what they end up running is they hit right there in this wide as, I mean, look at this bubble, guys. I mean, these the guard and center, they block down on the nose. 41, he's got a trigger, right? But he's hesitant. He delays, which allows his guard to climb up because they're working a combo. Working a combo up to 41 with him delaying and not triggering right now. I mean, this is like the Red Sea opening up. And it looks like we're maybe bringing some type of corner pressure right here. You know, Bray doesn't fire. He kind of waits and ends up, you know, allowing that guy to get another 8-10 yards. I don't know. Just seeing some of this stuff, I just wonder. I'm like, I wonder what they were kind of thinking here, right? I mean, P and 20. I mean, you're clearly behind the chains, but I don't know. I mean, literally, what they're running is what we used to call odd 33 zone, right? Which basically what that means, you're in an odd front and you're playing cover 3 on the back end, and that was a call for us that we only ran when it was like 2-minute situation when we're sitting back expecting like them to they're throwing the football, right? We're not expecting any run plays. But let me see. Maybe it was, it's too early to be, not even close to being halftime. So they're basically playing odd 33 zone, except the only difference would be we would have been in dime. If I'm this wolf, I would have been here stacked back over this guard, and I would have been dropping. But that's pretty much what they're running. End up getting gashed. It's kind of interesting though on that call. Why is this acting slow? You got to get a bigger screen. I got it on full screen. You can't see that from? You might have eyes like me, man. Is it that small? Tell me they stopped doing that. I'm not 100% sure, man. 10K by the end of the year? I hope so, man. That's why I need you guys every live stream, man, every video, man. Like, share it, all that good stuff. Tell your friends, family, the cashiers at Publix about the magic Christian Miller brings on. Yeah, exactly. Tell everybody, man. Tell everybody. Let's go to the next one. Is there anything specific you guys want me to pull up real quick? I'm just fooling around breaking down tape. Is there anybody, any position groups you guys want to watch? I just was going back and watching some defensive tape this weekend. I've talked about this series with you guys a little bit. I think this is where they end up hitting Deshaun Jones on that post. Not this play, but this series. I want to say it was. See more of these run stunts. I mean, if I had to count how many times they did this, I mean, it literally was like all game we were working these run stunts. And again, it's not bad. A lot of people do these, but I'm bringing this up because they mentioned playing more base. I don't think it was so much a personnel thing that he's talking about, more so than it is like actually just being able to line up and play ball, not having to worry about doing all this. I mean, see, they're doing it again here. Who was that? Edric setting that pick on that center. You got London Simmons rapping. And you see how it ends up working out. I mean, like, I think London ends up getting in there a little bit, but there's going to be times guys take themselves out, and you just got to be mindful of that when you're running these types of things. Why is this adding so slow? Let me close out some of these tabs. It shouldn't be a problem, but. All right, so let me see what down and distance we're in. I think this might be second down. Yeah, 2nd and 8. So this is another thing that we were doing in this Indiana game. So we were running a lot of these cover zero blitzes, right? But we were doing it with like low hole players, like rat players dropping out. And one could argue like, it's nice to have that insurance of guys in the low hole, right? They're running mesh concepts or they're just trying to throw it hot. But the other side of that is if you don't end up bringing everybody, it's less likely you're actually going to get home, which then allows your DBs to be able to exploit it because they're all on islands, man. They don't have any help. Cover zero, there's no safety help. Everybody's matched up straight man covered except those low hole, those rat players underneath, which you see right here. We're in cover zero, which we ran a lot of in this game. But we're in press man up here. We're off up here. And you'll see what happens on the next play. But they pop out. We end up only rushing 5 total, right? Low hole, little rat player there. But we're in man. Nice play by Deshaun Jones. But this is when you talk about scheme and coaching, right? So notice how wide he is in his technique, right? And it's actually more like cover 1 here. Ends up, it's more like cover 1. This isn't necessarily 0. This is actually more cover 1 because you've got the safety up top, which it makes sense. He's going to be more wide here. Why? Because he's got safety help to the inside. It makes total sense. And you see the result. It ends up being a good play right here. He drives on the football, right? Good throwing timing by Mendoza, but Deshaun Jones just does a really nice job recognizing it, breaking on the football on the out route. Pass deflection. Good stuff. Let's see what we got on the inside. Yeah, I think actually only brought 4, I think. I thought we brought 5. Drop. Coming. No, we brought. Oh, no, yeah, we popped him out too. So we only bring up 4. We end up running it's like a cross dog concept with the backers. Basically running that cross dogs here, but we're dropping both ends out, right? It's rat players. Good result. But this is the problem, though, right? So now we got 3rd and 8 from the 21-yard line. Very similar concept, right? Everything looks very similar to what we just saw from the last play. You see his leverage, right? Outside leverage here. initially, remember, it looked like cover one because he ended up being the safety over the top. This time around, they're in true cover zero here, right? See how many guys we bring? But now he has no safety help. You can't be that far outside like that with no help. You see how much width he's got? I mean, you got no shot. No shot. But see, this time, this looks more like a true cover zero pressure. But what they're doing is basically it's where it's a concept where you can always still pop guys out, but first you want them to attack the guard. That way they grab the attention. I'll show you guys from the top or the tight so you can see it. So basically, you're bringing all out pressure, but like LT right here, his job, he's a pop player, meaning he's going to go force this guard to respect him. That way he can help like free his guys up that are actually coming, and then he's going to pop out. So you don't have to always bring everybody. You still can kind of work those holes of those rat players, but first you need them to grab the attention of the guard. That way it clears up the path for the other blitzers. But you got to come home, man. If you're going to be aggressive like that, you got to get home. And I think this, and the reason I'm bringing all this up, guys, because when them talking about wanting to play more base, like when you can rush 4 guys and you have guys that can get home, you don't feel as reliant on some of these, right? These cover zero pressures, these pressures that put a lot of stress on the back end. And if you're not getting home, I mean, these guys are in vulnerable spots. Like Deshaun Jones, I mean, he had no chance. Too far off, too wide. He doesn't have that interior help or that middle of the field help like he did before. So just another thing. Remember, Baldy was saying, I don't know why people don't do these stems. I mean, we do it a lot. A lot of people do it. Now, see how they get the move call, right? As soon as he's starting getting that fake clap, they're gearing up that he's probably about to do his true cadence. They move to an even front. They're showing that odd front. Now it's an even front. They're in an under front, right? Because the 3 technique is away from the tight end. If you're sent to the tight end, 3 technique away, we call that an under front. So now they're in an under front. And they're working an edge pressure with Mincy right there coming off the edge. Really nice play by Yanze right here, man. Really nice play. Does a good job crossing face, right? Because remember, everybody's slanting right here. They're on a path. You got Mincy coming outside off the edge. Yanze's right here working off. He's in 5 technique. Really nice job working the hands right here. Then he gets skinny, right? You see this H that I think was working back across, kind of scanning the interior. Yanze does a good job splitting those 2 defenders. Sack. We don't need to see that again out of, well, he's going to be 0, but definitely going to be big if we get that this upcoming season, man. Christian, honest opinion about the potential of the wide receiver room, especially compared to last year. I feel like we were below average as a unit. Hope the new coach can help turn things around. I think there's definitely some potential, man. I mean, I know people have been really critical of Ryan Williams. I know we've talked about things he needs to improve on, but I've always said, man, that dude, he's a really good football player, whether he struggled last year or not. I mean, the dude has got, potential to be one of the best receivers in the country without a doubt. We all know that. Lotzie or Brooks, we all know how good of a player he is. So I think you got 2 guys that flash like the ability to be like elite type receivers, right? Guys that are mismatches, guys that can, make all those contested acrobatic type catches, guys that can be extremely productive. They have all the tools and traits, man. So I like that. Noah Rodgers, I got to see a little bit more of him. I think he's a solid contributor. I think he definitely can provide something in the group. Sedarian Morgan has been turning heads. I think he can end up contributing a solid amount as a true freshman. Rico Scott is somebody that's intriguing to me. I think he has a lot of tools that can help him be a really good football player, man. He's very fast. He's a tremendous athlete. He's a strong guy. If you just look at the way he's built, man, he's a bigger receiver. I think if he can put it together, I think he can be good. I think this group has a chance to be a very solid group. And the thing that helps them is they're going to get a lot of opportunities. Look, we're going to throw the football a lot. I know the attention is on trying to improve the running game, but at the end of the day, this offense is built around moving the football through the air. So I think it's all about what these guys do with these opportunities that they get. And I think there's a lot of potential in there. I mean, I thought that the group last year was solid. I mean, I thought Jeremy and Horton did a nice job. And, of course, Latsier Brooks coming along. Ryan Williams was inconsistent, and people focus so much on the stuff he didn't do. But if you really go back and look at the numbers and you pay attention to it, I mean, he still was very productive. So I like the group. I think that they have a lot of ability. Smitty mentioned home run plays. I think they have explosive ability out of guys like Ryan and Latsier Brooks. I mean, a guy like Sedarian Morgan, he's a big physical guy. I mean, I think you can get kind of creative there. I mean, if Rico Scott and Noah Rodgers can step up and kind of, help bring the rest of the room up, I think they could be solid. But they definitely, like Smitty said, they need more explosives, man. And there should be no excuse. I mean, if you have guys like Ryan and Latsier Brooks on the team, just like what you saw in the Oklahoma game, I mean, Latsier Brooks was providing some of those explosive plays. Like, we need him to build off of that. We need Ryan to step back up. I think they got a good room. I do. But I do think somebody's going to have to step up. I mean, you need a consistent guy in that. Jeremy Bernard was that guy last year. Like, it's always nice when a quarterback has his go-to guy that he can, when shit hits the fan, he's looking for that guy. In 2014, Amari Cooper was that guy for Blake Sims. You know what I mean? 2015, Darius Stewart, Calvin Ridley. I mean, you just got to have those reliable guys. But the other thing that room needs to work on is they got to be more. They got to be better in terms of like blocking downfield. They have to provide more value in that area. I feel like that was one thing that they didn't do a great job of last year. That's important, especially when you're talking about explosives and explosives through the ground. When you break explosive runs, the difference between a 8 to 10 yard explosive and a 20 plus yard is typically the blocking downfield. The receivers blocking downfield, second and third level defenders that are being accounted for, mostly by your wide receivers. So I think they need to improve on that. I think that would also help out the explosives in the running game as well. But I like the group. I mean, I think th're solid now. Time will tell if Ryan is going to definitely return to form. I mean, I think he's trending that way. I'm not going to overly do it like some people that see that he had 3. I'm not talking about like anybody specific. I'm just saying, like, I know a lot of people said, like, oh, he had 3 touchdowns. Like, oh, that means everything's back. Like, I know good and well you can't just go off of one scrimmage performance. Like, he's got to stack those days. You know what I mean? And continue to build that confidence. But somebody's going to have to step up and be that clear guy in that room, which, I mean, we would hope will be Ryan, but if not, maybe Lottie. But kind of like what Jeremy Bernard was the past couple of seasons, you need a reliable target that can really help out these quarterbacks, especially early on. Need more home run plays. Yeah. Now we do. I mean, the lack of explosives downfield last year, especially like later in the year, was it definitely was an issue. I mean, you saw a lot more explosives early on, but I feel like after like the Missouri game, they kind of slowed down. They slowly started getting less and less. See what we got called here. We got 2nd and 19. Got an even from. We're showing middle of the field closed. They're just running the football, and we get gashed. Let's see what happens here. Looks like they're running power. Looks like power, at least. Difference is counter, that guard is going to go and kick out the first guy off the edge, right? But looks like we're working Yeah, we're running like a corner blitz here, right, from the boundary. We're running a cat blitz out of the boundary. So you see Yanze, I think that's Yanze up there, yeah. Right, cross and face. His guard ends up working to the backer, which that's what power is. Power, that guard is going to work up to the backer. Normally you have a fullback or somebody in the backfield coming to kick out the edge guy. Anyway, just trying to explain some of these run plays. That way you guys can learn a little bit about that too. We talk so much about defense, but anyway, looks like power right here. So remember we're talking about like run stunts, kind of taking yourself out. Like, again, back to the theme of what we're talking about, just being able to line up and play base. This is how this would look if we're just playing base. So, I mean, we're expecting pass here clearly because, I mean, the front that we're in, I mean, you got a 3, you got a loose 3, borderline 4-eye, you got a loose 5, and we got a 9 technique right here. They end up running the football. If you're playing base, though, right, because what we're doing is we're running cat blitz. So he's crossing face. We used to call this a blood path, right, where you're crossing inside to the C gap. So he's on a blood path. He's crossing face, right, because you got corner coming on the outside. You can't see him, but there you see him right here. But he ends up getting blocked. Really nice job. Sorry, my dad said his battery's about to die. He does a nice job sealing off Xavier Brown right there. It's always from the tight. It doesn't look like a big game, but you watch it from the wide and you're like, damn, it's damn near 9-yard game. But what I'm getting at is if you're just playing base right here, say you have whatever you call, but say you got Yanze in a 6, he's going to strike into. He's not going to work across. He's going to strike into that tight end and jack his ass up, push him on the other side of the line of scrimmage. Say they're running power. What then happens is this guard that's going to be trying and see how see what Tim's doing, right? And we're looping, right? He's doing what he's supposed to do. But you see how we're like running out of position. And to be fair, second and long, I think they're almost expecting pass, but this is what leads to getting gashed, right? I mean, I showed you guys when we were in that odd defense, similar deal happens to us again. So instead of us in a base defense, you're going to sit there and you're going to put a hat on a hat. You're striking guys. You're playing on line of scrimmage. Now we're running sideways. We're running laterally, right? We're running out of position, and we're creating lanes. I mean, that guard is right there on our backer. And I mean, just look at that. We got seams and open lanes for guys to run. So again, not to beat a dead horse, but there's so much talk about getting bigger and being able to play base. This is what I'm talking about. Not having to feel like you're doing, because we ran a lot of and we used to do it too. I mean, we used to run like a lot of stings, like a lot of little edge pressure, stuff like that. But it's one thing to do it because you have the luxury to mix it up. And it's another when you feel like you have no choice but to do that. Maybe because you don't have 4 guys that you think you can send and get home on. You don't have big, strong guys up front that are able and capable of really just striking the guy in front of them, strong at the point of attack, playing on the other side of the line of scrimmage, shocking them, releasing them, shedding them, getting off, making a play. But really, I mean, and we shouldn't be able to. I mean, this guy shouldn't be blind. We're on a corner blitz. Let me see what happens. I mean, just damn good job by this receiver. Is that Charlie? What's his name? I mean, it's just a really good job. But the other thing is, I mean, maybe we're too late right here, right? I get you want to disguise, but because he's late in coming, because he won't pause, because he's trying to disguise, we end up getting blocked. And like I said, if you're going to be aggressive and you're going to call blitzes and pressures like this, I mean, you have to get home. If not, you're vulnerable. So, but also 2nd and 19, we're gearing up for a pass. And they exploited that, which, again, great coaching on their part, man. First spring camp where Ryan is healthy. Spectacular plays are great. But wide receiver makes his bones. Being dependable with routine stuff. Exactly. That's why I was saying, man. I mean, hell, I watched Ryan when he was held. Like, again, he didn't scrimmage a whole bunch last year. They held him out of a lot of things. And who knows? Maybe that, you know what's crazy now I think about this? Maybe that's something that, probably should be paid attention to a little bit more. Now, the outside, folks aren't going to know that. I mean, I think Coach DeBoer mentioned it, but I remember going to the scrimmages. I feel like he was held out of more scrimmages than he actually practiced in. If I'm being completely honest with you, he didn't scrimmage a whole bunch last year. And now that I think about it, it almost makes me wonder. I mean, could it have hindered him? Now I know he was beaten up a little bit and had some injuries, some nagging stuff, but maybe the lack of reps in those scrimmages attributed to some of the shortcomings that he had. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily like I don't think that was the only reason for it, but I don't know. Maybe it had some type of a role in that. Ryan was open downfield on tape. Ty wasn't willing to make the throws. And the line wasn't good enough. He was, I mean, there's definitely some opportunities, but there's also missed opportunities. I mean, you think about like the Georgia game. I mean, that was a damn good throw Ty made to him, and he dropped that in the SEC championship game. South Carolina, he had a drop. I think it, both sides played a role. But yeah, I mean, he was definitely banged up, but I just wonder maybe the lack of reps from being hurt in the offseason maybe hindered him a little bit. All right, let's see what we got. This is 3rd and 12. Let's see what we go with here. So we're showing middle of the field open right here, 2-high shell. Ends up playing cover 3, right? So nice disguise here, right? How do we know it's cover 3? Well, again, we got a 2-high shell pre-snap. Bray's he's gonna rotate down, right? And now he's basically a hook curl player right here. You got a curl flat. You got a curl flat with the husky down here. So we're playing cover 3. It's a damn good throw by Mendoza, man. And it's kind of crazy to think about because they end up throwing a cover 3 beater right here. This is what we call a cover 3 beater, right? Because where are the vulnerable points of the defense in cover 3? The seams and then the flats, especially early on, right? Getting the ball out to the flats. Well, why is it vulnerable if you got a curl flat player? Well, you see what this guy's doing? He's doing a landmark drop. See how his eyes aren't turning back and scanning, right? Now, different people coach this different ways, right? Sometimes it's just straight landmark drop. You're trying to get to the top of the numbers and you're buzzing out there to the flat, and then you're going to turn around. Me personally, I always like scanning, right? We weren't coached up to like just turn and run because you don't know what's happening, right? If they have a quick flat route, right? Say this back shoots to the flat and this guy's just turning and running. This back dashes out here right now. Look how much depth he's getting. He's not paying attention, and that's why it's a weak part of the field in cover 3. Then also we talked about the seams. The seams are a weak point because you got middle of the field closed, right? You've got a single high safety, and then you've got 2 third players. So these guys are occupying this deep third, middle third, deep third, and typically you'll have some vulnerable spots down the seam, which is exactly what happens here. Basically like a wheel route being ran by this guy right here. We talked about the seams being vulnerable. Why? Hook curl. They got this crosser right here. He grabs his attention just enough to, see what I'm saying? Just enough to take that hook curl player out of that window, and a damn good throw. And it makes me wonder, people talking about Mendoza, reading and things like this. The call itself is a cover 3 beater. This is literally a cover 3 call, like a cover 3 beating call. But it seemed to me like he already kind of had his mind made up where he was planning on going right there. Sorry, I thought my nose was bleeding for a second. Sometimes this pollen makes my sinus act weird. My nose will start bleeding. Felt like that for a second. Sorry. But really nice work by Mendoza, man. Right down that seam in that window. Cover 3 beater. Convert on 3rd down, man. Somebody said Big Steve's enormous. Was he in there? What made you bring up Big Steve? Was he about to say, I don't think Big Steve played. No, who is that? I think that's what, Kelby Collins. Kelby Collins got LT. Right, so they're in an even front. We got a wide 9 technique. We got a 5 technique. We got a shade or a 1 technique, and then we got another 9 technique out here. Call it jet mode, man. I mean, it's 3rd and long. We're getting after it. See what Yanze's working. See what we're working on this edge out here. He's trying to work a chop. He's got to violently throw that chop, man. You got to violently throw that chop and really dip down there, especially if you're going to be on this wide path like that. But see that? We talk about beating the hands, man. I mean, the dude gave it. He had it. I mean, that's why you just got to violently throw that chop. You got to beat those hands down, dip, then finish it with the rip. LT trying to cross face right here. Gets good push. But you see that throw, man, right down that seam. What I told you, I mean, vulnerable part of the field in cover 3, man. Great throw. Either it was just a damn good call that they, pre-snap, those coaches had a feel and they're going to play cover 3. Mendoza automatically just knew. I don't know that, or not automatically knew, but he did a good job recognizing it was cover 3 hitting that seam. But seemed like his eyes were already reading that part, which was if he read it that fast post snap, which I don't know if he's, man, that would be very fast. Really impressive stuff. Let's see a few more clips. We're back in our odd defense with our Wolf off the ball. Go to tight real quick. Just trying to see what they're working. I mean, they're obviously working some with these two guys. He's shooting this B gap. He's kind of coming off his rear. But I mean, like, dude, Indiana, man, they just did such a good job picking up on all this movement, man. Like other teams that aren't disciplined, or like you saw with our offense in that clip that they had an issue communicating and picking up on the stem, late movement. I mean, just watch this. I think it's this tackle. I mean, look at that, guys. I mean, this is an offensive line group that is, number one, they're very smart. They communicate well, clearly, and they just do all the little things right. I mean, these guys are turning out on these guys, and this tackle to have that instinct that sense his backer coming off the rear, opening up that hole. I mean, that's some damn good offensive line play. I'm not gonna lie to you. 2nd and 5. We'll watch a few more clips real quick. Split zone right here. Basically just inside zone with the H-back coming across, kicking out the edge. Should have given this ball, but looks like he's reading this, which even more of a reason why he should have given this ball. Then this guy's quarterback player right here, and with him sitting so deep, right? Normally you're supposed to squeeze down, so we don't squeeze down at all. He should have gave this football right here. Him kick that out. Had a nice little lane right there. We got 3rd and 3. All right, so we're showing that cover 0 look again, right? Man, we got press here. Man on this H-back right here. Man, and then one of these guys is going to be responsible for the back. See what happens. At least they showed, man. They end up getting to okay. So they showed 0. This is a good disguise right here. So they're showing cover 0, right? They even fooled me pre-snap. They're showing that cover 0 look that we saw a little bit of earlier, which they've ended up doing a number of different things out of it. Sometimes they bring everybody in a straight 0. Other times they've got wrap players dropping. This time they actually go to a cover 2 concept. How do we know that? We got a cover 2 corner down here. And I know you're kind of confused because you're like, well, how's it cover 2 if this corner is not in flat, right? Well, it's almost like an invert too, right? Because this guy ends up playing a half. He ends up playing a half, and he's just occupying the corner. He's basically where the corner would be in traditional cover 2. But we got cover 2 right here. So really nice job disguising it. And as you can see, there ends up being nowhere to really, well, you gotta be careful getting nosy down there, Damani. But really nice job. And I'll be honest, the disguise itself is really what takes a lot of this away, right? Ends up being a play really because of the coverage, right? Those flat players are doing a nice job taking away those exterior perimeter routes right there. Hook curl players, nice job inside. But now we got to finish, man. So this is a good play right here. This is a good third down rep, except everything except the finish. Because what are we working? We're bringing the edge pressure. So we're only bringing 4 guys. This is basically a simulated pressure. We end up bringing, I think it was the Husky off the edge. Everybody else pops out and just play cover 2. Really good stuff. Problem is we got to finish, man. We got to finish. I mean, who is that? James Smith? Come on, James. Nowhere to go with the football. I mean, secondary did their thing on this pre-snap and post-snap, but then we're just sitting here, man, like this can't happen. I want to say he ends up getting the first down. Man. Ramon, I appreciate it, man. Love the cap and shirt. Think Bam will have a good season this year. Oh, appreciate it, man. It's funny. It's one of those old hats with like the little animals on them with the it's just funny. Uncle Charles, what's up? Salute to the Miller's Edge. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, man. We got a few more plays. I'm gonna get out here. Superfly says, Roll Tide, Bama family. Feel like I've been missing everything. Glad I could catch the end today. Yeah, you caught a good one, man. We're back to breaking down some tape, man. Let's see. We got minute and 44 left, 1st and 10. Middle of the field close. By the way, just a quick little note, because I know I said a couple different terms. Middle of the field close is the same thing as just saying, like, one high shell. Middle of the field close just means you're closing off the middle of the field with, a safety back there. So either got middle of the field closed or middle of the field open. Sometimes it's abbreviated to just MOF. Wait. I'm drawing a blank. Just middle of the field closed, middle of the field open. Just stick with that. Or one high, two high. Same thing, just different terminology. Depending on the team, coaching staff, it's called different things. So we're showing middle of the field closed. They run stretch. We're in the even front. Let me see. Hold on. No, it might be in a tight front there. No, it looks like we're playing more of a tight front. Yeah, 4-eye, 0, 4-eye. We got a 9 technique here. Let's see what happens. Set the edge there. Well, somewhat. I mean, it's getting kicked right to you. You gotta make that money. You gotta make that play. First and 10. Let's see what we got. Sorry, I'm just trying not to let it play too much. You guys know how it is, man. You gotta be smart about this, man. We're bringing the tape back, but we gotta do it in a smart way. Let's see what we got here. It's inside zone. Kind of running some type of like cross dog concept with the backers right here. Do a nice job getting a stop. Let's see what we got here. We got slot formation, show middle of the field close pre-snap. They're running pin and pull, taking a page out of our book. All right, gonna pin that edge guy, pull. You know, you'd think we'd be like pros at defending it since we run it all the time ourselves. You guys see it all the time in practice. Pin, pull, pull. We don't have an edge. Somebody's got to be setting the edge here, but we don't have one. I know Coach DeBoer mentioned that too, saying like they felt that. Wait, what was it he said? He said they felt that they were solid on the edge against defending the run last season. They wanted to work on some of those interior runs. I think it was a little combination of both, man. I think it really depends on what games and really what you focused on. I mean, I felt like the first Georgia game, I know we got hit on the perimeter a number of times, and some of it was really on the secondary guys. I mean, you got to have better run support from the DBs, but other times I feel like we did get gashed on the interior. But as I'm showing you guys, not all of it was like, yes, there's times where we got out physical, but a number of times you see it being from a lot of these stunts and things that we're doing with the defensive line, you know, specifically with the tackles in the nose. And again, back to the whole theme of things, I think that's why they want to just maybe simplify a little bit more. Talking about simplifying the running game, I think is very similar to what they're trying to do defensively as well. You'll still see plenty of that stuff, but I think they really want to make an effort to not be so reliant on that. All right, let's see what we got here. What's the down and distance? I don't think it showed it, but let's see. We're in nickel, middle of the field closed. He's playing cover 3. He's playing cover 3, but we end up dropping. So we're dropping 8. This is what I always say about when you play such soft zone. I mean, I know we got cooked a little bit in some of those man concepts, but again, those were more like zero type man concepts, right? But when you just play like these soft zones, and I don't know what the down and distance here is, but I mean, pitch and catch, you know what I mean? Ends up turning, I don't know, turn into a 15-plus yard gain. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I've never been the biggest fan of just playing a bunch of soft zone either. Quick out right there. Same thing like there in cover 3 as well. So we got one more play, I think, guys. 1 or 2 more plays. 2nd and 5. Out of the gun. 2x2. Motion the H back in. It's running inside zone right here. Like a mid zone. Really nice job by that tight end. Right? Taking Rousseau where he needs or where he wants to go, bringing him inside. Running back does a nice job cutting off of him. Great execution by those guys, man. There again, you see what I'm saying? Like, I feel like they really you're probably seeing more run stunts and the guys just really just basing things up. I mean, it was like every single play, it felt like we were running some type of stunt. I mean, you see what happens. I mean, look, like, I guess he ended up filling that void, but nice job cutting right there. Watch this from the tight real quick. This is a nice job by London Simmons right here. Watch him at the nose, man. Really nice job striking that center, getting extension, locking out, shedding them, making the tackle. Really good play by him right there. And this is what I mean by like basing things up, right? You don't see these run stunts right here. Everybody's basing things up. And I think this is what they're talking about when they say like we want to get more base, right? It's a good picture of it, right? No stunts. We're not slicing and dicing the front. We're just basing these guys up, man. Just basing them up, Lock, peek, shed drill. Getting off, making a tackle. Yeah, we got a touchdown right there. Nice play design. All right. That said, just wanted to dive into that. I know you guys were missing some of the breakdown stuff, man. We hadn't done it in a while, so I wanted to bring that back. Plus, talking a little bit about base defense, and maybe I think some of you guys were asking kind of how things might look a little bit different. That's what I would assume, maybe with bigger bodies up front, not feeling the need to have to slice and dice as much, just trying to let those guys go out there and just base it up, play, you know what I mean? Play football up front, not being too cute, just getting back to some old school fundamentals like we just saw on that last play. And I'm for it. I like that. I'll be honest with you. I like that. If you got the guys that are capable of doing it, man, that can and just play into the guys in front of them, man, and lock, peek, shed drill, which is basic football fundamentals, I'm all for it, man. I don't mind slicing and dicing fronts to mix it up. I think it's important you do that every now and then, but I think just watching this tape, man, just felt like we were just over-relying on it, and it was doing more harm than good. It just opened up more lanes for guys to run through than we were really creating negative plays versus just having big, strong, physical defenders that can go jack the guy up in front of them, shed, make a play, right? Play on the other line of scrimmage, and set the tone that way. All right, that'll do it for us on this Monday, man. Hope you guys enjoyed the film breakdown stuff we went back to. If you guys did, hit that like button on the way out. For all our ex-viewers, listeners, if you guys don't mind, just take 2 seconds to go subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'll post extra content over on YouTube as well. And that's outside of radio, our second biggest platform that we really focus on. So the goal is to hit 5,000 subscribers. I don't know when. Let's just say, what is it, March, the end of March? Let's say by 8 days, way too quick. I don't know about hitting another 800 subscribers, but say by the end of May, man, we want to hit 5,000. So if you guys don't mind, man, go on over to our YouTube, subscribe. It'll be worth it. We'll start posting some more on there as well. Plus, you can always share the videos. That always helps us out as well. And the likes definitely help as well. But we will be back tomorrow talking Tuesday. We got Clint Lamb joining us at the top of the hour. We'll talk with him, get his scrimmage thoughts, nuggets, and intel, all that good stuff. And then I want to say Wednesday, I think we should have Gray, hopefully. I'll make sure I confirm that. But I'll keep you guys posted on anything else that comes up. But then the game plan is I'll be able to head to the scrimmage Friday and let my dad kind of open the show up. That way I'm not trying to rush back and worry about missing the intro part of the show. But appreciate all you guys per usual, man. Seriously, man, I thank you guys so much for the support, man. We appreciate it. We enjoy having you guys here. Hope you guys enjoy it as well. And we look forward to doing it again tomorrow, same time, same place. We'll see you guys then.